All right. Let's see. Second time, second attempt. Okay. I think we are here. I think we're here. Okay. Whatever happened, I went live and then it created some other separate stream. The screen is white right now, so you guys are seeing that. It created another stream talking about me recapping the NCAAs. I don't know what was going on there. I guess it was like a ghost stream I had still left and I didn't know. But in any case, I'm going to let people come back because that alert went off and people probably clicked that video. So they're going to come back here. We're going to let this go for the next 30 seconds. For some reason, is this saying subscribers only in the chat? I thought I had this thing open to... See, they don't really listen to me at all. I got it open to everybody. So here we go. Might turn that off, back on if the trolls start coming. But anyway, we're going to be covering the USA trials here. I'm going to have to rename this from USA and Jamaica to USA trials because Jamaica, I really just don't have all of... Hold on, where is that? I don't really have all of the information on Jamaica, and I really don't want to do a half job there. I will say this, I do have particularly this year coming into this, just because of where my focus is gone, my week event will be the 400. So when I'm covering that, I'm going to cover it from the analysis of the people that I do know, and plus this is the first round, so I'll be able to see how people are looking after that first round. But the 400 as far as sprint events is going to be a little bit weaker for me. And then also I'm going to focus on mainly the sprint events this time. Most of the subscribers here are for sprint events, of course. And then I'm going to sprinkle in some other details of other events, but I'm going to focus on the sprint events this time. And that's just because of lack of time. I'm going to build up somebody for the next year when I do this channel, because I'm going to need a partner. I'm building up so much business. Getting things done in different nations, expanding out specifically to Nigeria, Kenya right now, adding them to our list. So that's some things there. I'm going to look down in Jamaica to see what we can do, as well as some places in the US that have already been going on, but that's an obvious one for me. But anyway, how you guys doing this evening? I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet and to the point. And before we get into that, letting everybody trickle in, you are watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Now, as we get into today's predictions that I have here, I'm going to let you guys chime in on what you guys are thinking about for the events. Don't forget, always smash that like button if you're here on the live or catching it on the pre or the re-record. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited for this. I'm very, very excited for this. I'll do a quick note here. World Athletics performances, just general, the media coverage in general, when they're covering the women in these, I'm just going to let y'all know, because everything is about race. And there are divides that they're trying to do with, you know, gender divides and everything. Look, women are being attempted to be erased. And the coverage that they give women is basically women are men, because they're not even using the pronouns like to describe women. They're starting to say people that bleed, humans that bleed. Okay, it's like, that's kind of weird. So just letting you guys know that you guys want to push back on that at all times. And then they covered Nia Lee, which is the defending 100-meter hurdles champion from Doha, as if she was a single mother, and she's with Andre DeGrasse on World Athletics website. Like the way they like quickly mentioned him, and then everything else was like, yeah, she's running the house, she's doing this and everything like that. So y'all got to pay attention to that and the biases that they have there. I just want to point that out because it's very, very important. If we just let these subtleties go by and you let your kids get raised under that, they'll not know the difference. And then when they get erased and they say, hey, here's trans and trans age, trans this, they'll be replaced. I know some people may not care for that. They'll leave. They get offended about stuff when I talk about things about that aren't in to do 100% with sports, but that's just what I'm gonna do. So let's read the comment here. Yankney or Yank oh Yankee, but Yankney Graham said Shelly will double at the Jamaican trial. Yeah, I'm not sure she's gonna be doing everything all the way through. I will throw in some of the Jamaican trial stuff here and there, but the Jamaican website, the Jamaican Athletic Amateur Association, I think, they don't have the heat sheets or anything. I can't do coverage on just people putting out articles and stuff. I need it directly from the website, just like what USATF is doing. So yeah, Steve Patrick said the pandering to women is real. Jordan Lee said, I'm eager to see if Allison will make the individual and give up her spot, or she'll take tank to let someone else represent, and she'll still be in the relay pool by placing in the top 6. Allison Felix is gonna go for her individual stuff. I don't think she will pull out. She looks like she's gonna be fit, so Allison Felix is gonna go all the way through. I would be surprised if she pulls out and just does a relay. She doesn't seem to be that way. Remilio said, I got it from the website today. Remilio, I see what you got. I downloaded it finally. It was like 5 minutes before the stream started, and it's just the schedule of events. I don't need the order of events. Everybody knows the order of events. They're gonna run the 100, the 200, the 800, and all of that. I need to have the heat sheets. Look, I click on the men's 800, and here we go. So anyway, I think I let enough people trickle in. We're about 6 minutes in. Let me get into the details here after I read this last comment. Nick Roberts said the juniors and seniors will be running the same day. We might see Tina, Hill, Serena Liston, and Tia match up. Yeah, that will be exciting. That will be exciting. So here, let me do a quick note on the men's 800. As I know, as this stream here, people are used to me covering distance events and everything first. So I'm going to do that in classic style and just do this. So in about 5 minutes, we're going to have more people here. But share this stream so that people can come in and do that. They said, oh, you need the actual entrance. Dude, yes, of course. What you think my post was? That's what I said. They don't have the heat sheets. That's what I was saying. The heat sheets. That's what I said about Jamaica. They had it for USA, but maybe it was my wording or something like that, and I did it in a rush because some other people misinterpreted that. So here's what I gotta say for the 800. Okay, Eric Sawinski, shout out to him, always being pace setter for these 1500s and other distance events and everything like that. Coming out of Iowa, always got to shout out the Midwest guys. Clayton Murphy, he's gonna make it through. Sawinski's most likely gonna make it through. He's in shape as a pace setter. He's always been on pace. Donovan Brazier, I want to say this as defending. They said check JAA again. They're up. Oh, if I can see, can you, Steve? Could you post up the link in the chat if they will let you? Can one of y'all post up the link in the chat? Or email me at HeadAndShouldersATR@yahoo.com and then say I sent it. Then I'll go check my email on that. And then I'll just have to do it live right off the top of my head. I got a whole bunch of notes here, but I'll just do whatever I can live on the top of my head with the Jamaican ones. So yeah, they took a really long time. That's why I delayed this by an hour just so I can get this. But anyway, Donovan Brazier, he's suffering from something I'm suffering now. I had to learn so much about it. It's called bursitis in his right foot. So he had to check with his medical team. It's not the worst thing. You can run through it, but bursitis is right where your Achilles, the bursitis in the foot is where the Achilles attaches to the bone on the back of your foot. And a bursa is the liquid that makes your joints basically be flexible, and the fluid that allows us to go. Not like the cartilage that's there, like in your nose, but you got bursas like all over your body. So he basically has to not train for anywhere from 6 weeks to, it could be longer than that. And because he's training through it, like what I did, it's probably going to take longer. I just took the last 4 weeks off. Well, technically three weeks in a day, because June 1st I stopped training, and it's still there. So this is an injury you can run through, but it's something where he's not at 100%. And depending on how hard you train, it's very painful. You get up in the morning, it's like it's a you might pull. So Donovan Brazier might not even run Worlds. Just letting y'all know that. So the defending champion in the 800 might not do that. Jewett, you know he's gonna go out in that first round. He's gonna make it through. That's all I wanted to really say there. Isaiah Harris is gonna make it through, and then Hopple, he's gonna make it through. Most likely, between him and Jewett, those are the two favorites to win. Women's 800, really don't got too much to say there other than a thing. Mo, hopefully Aji Wilson can make it this go around. I will be really surprised if she doesn't, and a little bit disappointed if Aji Wilson does not make it through all the way. But first round, Aji Wilson's gonna make that. It's the top 3 in the next 4 fastest times. So a thing. Mo, I would say Hannah Green will make it through on this one. Really just the big names. I'm gonna just skip through these because a lot of people here aren't really too deep. We got a couple people, but Raven Rogers, Lipsy should make it through to the final round. Aji Wilson should make it through. Thing Mo. Those are the big names that should make it through. And if this one's gonna be a big one, because I want to see Lipsy and Wilson make it through. But Rogers, she always be coming through with that kick, and so she's got it most of the time. And Mo, obviously, after having COVID or whatnot, she's still there. So I'm gonna skip the 400 hurdles real quick, and I'm gonna go to the women's 100. I'm gonna go to the women's 100. So this is here. Let me take out my notes real quick because I got something on the top of my head, but I want to stay focused. Keep this under 2 hours. Look. Okay, in this first round right here, okay, we got Petway, St. Price, Flannel, Briscoe, Oliver, Smith, Barnett, Hobbs, and Clark. I'm gonna say here, out of looking at all of these right here, depending on how you slice this up, I actually gotta say Heat 1 is probably the strongest as far as similarly placed talent and what they can do. It's probably the hardest run one right now as far as who's probably gonna make it through to the final round and how much work they gotta do. St. Price, Briscoe is gonna have one hell of a time getting through. What does it say? It said 10-8 U.S. trials, 10-7 Jamaican trials, 100 women. Giddy Goose James said, "Oh, you mean for the final time winning?" Yeah, I'll get to that one in a second. That's a good note that you have there. So look, Briscoe is gonna have one hell of a time getting through, and the reason that Briscoe is, let me make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing on the screen. Okay, yeah, you do. Because I forgot I got the zoom and all of that stuff. So the reason why Briscoe's gonna have a hell of a time getting through, if you've been following her and watching her races, she'll get out pretty hard, and then she ain't got nothing after 60 meters. She's basically that indoor runner, and it's unfortunate because she was right there with everybody. She could have won indoor, but she just barely lost. And of course, you know, Swole here, Swoboda winded up winning. So it's gonna be kind of, I'm glad she's now got a sponsor back after Nike dropped her, and then now she picked up Adidas. But she's gonna have one heck of a time making it through to out of this first round, in my opinion. I think she's gonna have to make it through on time, because looking at St. Price, she's been kicking her butt throughout this season. Looking at Hobbs, she just came off of a 1083. So I think that Hobbs is a clear, easy one. If she don't make it through, I'm just gonna be like, what? I'm gonna have to do the English Gardner eyes thing where she was just like, she's surprised. So, and then from there, Clark, yeah, no. This is gonna be hard. Javian Oliver, that's an easy pick right here. That's why I say we got easy picks. The easy picks are Hobbs and Oliver out of this because it's top 3 in the next 4. Then you got St. Price is what I'm gonna call, but it's gonna be close between St. Price. Briscoe keeps falling in the back of the pack. She'll finish 4th, 5th, depending on who else is in the race and how strong the field is. Briscoe, I'm doing the prayer hands. Do I got that on this loadout here? I think I might have deleted that one. But I'm doing the prayer hands for Briscoe to make it through. I really do. I really want to see her make it through on these rounds. But I think she's got to be the weakest link out of the bigger names. The bigger names. Obviously, there are weaker links than that in this field. But out of the bigger names, she's got to be the weakest link out of here. What do y'all think about that one? And then Kumo said, I've noticed how much shorter this year's trials are compared to last year. Has it been this short before? I think it's just shorter because they're contemplating on. I think it actually is. That's what I was thinking myself because of the 3 days. I think they've been 4 or 5 days, but what they did was I think they just combined the heptathlon and decathlon, which are usually on 2 days by themselves. They literally have 1 day for one and 1 day for the other one, and they have them by themselves. But that's what they winded up doing this time around. I think that's what we see here. So here we go to Heat 2. Let me take out my notes here just in case I had something here. Yeah. TT Terry, I think that's an easy call. She's going to do her little motorcycle champ thing at the end of that. So that's going to be cool. Then when we see that Akonison and Daniels is going to be, funny enough, they're on opposite sides of the track. And I think the two favorites out of this Heat 2 will be Daniels and TT Terry. It would have been nice to see them next to each other as a good matchup. But obviously, this is just qualifying rounds to get through. So depending on how they run, will depend on how they get matched up. But I think TT Terry is going to be an easy call. Daniels, easy call. She was actually real happy that she ran just under 11. She was just like, yes. So Daniels is actually running faster earlier in the season than she normally does after she's gone pro, that is. So that's a good sign. She was excited about that. Akonison, I think that's an easy call right here. Anybody else, it's going to be a toss-up here. It's going to be a toss-up for everybody else. Hargrove, and so I'm going to go straight past that. Now, Heat 3. Special mention here, Richardson, depending on which version of her we get. Now, a lot of y'all going to maybe disagree with me on this one. I think that Richardson could have a chance of not making it through the rounds, depending on how she runs a race. If she has a misfire and she's matched up with the right people in the field, that she has a misfire, that means she starts slower than normal and they're running through and doesn't, the easiest way she can make it through is round 1. But in the semis, that's going to be a question mark. Now, if she has a misfire on her start, which has happened twice, I've seen her misfire twice, and if she combines that with somebody doing a Ta Lu type of thing, all she needs is one extra person doing that, because the other person could just have the talent there and run through, and she's out. So I'm just saying, let's always keep that one in mind. But based on how she's been doing recently, she's been improving every week, so she's making it through this round. Desiree Bryant, I think that should be an easy one. Prandini, I haven't really seen too much of her that stands out this season, but she just shows up. She knows how to do things at the finals. So I'm going to say that she's going to make it through to the next round. But I'm really having a hard time calling anybody else in this race beyond those two, because Davis and Battle, I think both of them could really make it through, but they might have to make it through on time. I just can't see Prandini not really getting the top 3 in this one. Bryant, I definitely can't see her not getting the top 3. It's not like she was injured or anything, to my knowledge. So she's got to be there. Romilio said, USATF website, question mark. Yeah, this is USATF's website. I forgot you guys can't really see it. Let me, here, it's results.usatf.org/2022 outdoors. That's where that is. Actually, let me do this. I'll do a quick copy and paste that for you. But yeah, this is the USATF website here. And then Steve Patrick said Akonison should run for Nigeria. Now, you see, I could really do this, and I remember the last time we had some people that were one of the streams I had the most people at the time ever. And then somebody came and was like, okay, talking about, somebody brought up Tariq Nasheed, and people were getting butthurt about that, which like I said, I agree with almost 100% of what he says on a lot of those things myself personally. And then people were saying, block this person, block this person. He didn't really say anything offensive. He was just like, hey, FBA, it was just off topic. And I told him to get back on topic, where he was like, FBA, whatever. And I was just like, yeah, they don't have anything to do, but I'm not about to block somebody because they did that. Now, I think Connaughton could run for Nigeria, and I like to see people do it. But the way I look at it is, who cares? That's the way I look at it. I'm going to count them as the nation that they're representing. And this is the sport that we got. So who cares? Because when we get an American athlete that goes somewhere else, I'm not going to be like, they should run for Team USA. It's just, hey, have at it. But Connaughton will have a much easier time. This is what I will say. If she ran for Nigeria, for sure. There are plenty of athletes here that could run for other nations, but I wouldn't just say that they are. Now, Steve Patrick, I think you're Nigerian, correct? If I'm not mistaken here, so I can see why you're saying what you're saying. But I would say I really don't personally care what nation people are running for. If they think they want to run for somewhere, if they're running for it for money, I got a little bit less respect for that. If they're running for a nation, and that accounts Qatar as well. Somebody goes there, they get $1 million. I'm gonna be like, big up on your money, but I got a little bit less respect for it. But it is what it is. So we see it all the time in distance events, especially. But back on topic here. Yeah, that's what I got for Heat 3. Heat 4. Now I got a big question mark. Will English Gardner make it out of? Will English Gardner? I'll get to your comment in a second. Make it out of this, because she was so torn. She was so torn at the last championships. I really want to see English Gardner make this. This is at home. This will be her coming back home. So it will be very nice to see her, and then really to round out some things for her, for English Gardner. So I'm pulling for her. But first round, I say English Gardner should easily be able to make it. That's what I got here for a pick. Sturgis, question mark. But this is first round, and I will rely on who I know in head-to-heads, and I think Sturgis is going to make that out. Shannon Ray, I would say that she could do something, but really, and then Brittany Brown. I almost forgot about Brittany Brown. When I was doing the thought process on here, I was like, Brittany Brown. And I'm like, oh yeah, how the heck could I forget Brittany Brown? So yeah, Brittany Brown would be another pick here. Aside from them, it's kind of a toss-up here. Like, Brittany Brown should be an easy pick out of here other than English Gardner. And it kind of just depends on her fitness. So Brown is my favorite pick here. And then Gardner and Sturgis is going to be that tough number 2 and 3. Everybody else, they're going to have to make it on time. What do y'all say about the 100 for what I just did there, as I read the comment here, and then I'll move on to the next event. So Kumo said, bruh, USA trials so hard. People switch nationalities. LOL. Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you want, sometimes it's not even about somebody making a team. It's like, I want to make the team. But when I look at it, sometimes if you run in a nation that's just a little bit easier, or bring it back to your nation and start bringing that competition there, right? You could race somewhere else, like what people do. They go to Europe, they make their money in Europe, but they still gonna run for Jamaica. They still run for the US. They still run for Kenya, whatever, right? They make their money in these other places while still representing their nationality. They have their training camps. Many athletes have training camps in the US, and they still represent, you know, Team Nigeria, Team Great Britain and Northern Ireland and everything like that. So I'm just like, sometimes maybe it's just more about, hey, I want to beat the quote best before we get to that filtering round. It'd be like somebody switching to Kenya to run a 5K or 800 or something. It's like some of the best 800, 5K, 1500 runners are knocked out in their trials, and then you just get the other 3 that are left over to face the world. So I think that's what we're seeing here. Now, going over to the men's 100. This is going to be interesting too. Now, I had to check myself on this one because I forgot for a quick second that Coleman was a defending champion. It's just been that long ago. Steve Patrick said, I'm a Caribbean lad all the way. Okay, I got you. I just wanted some clarity there because I know when people hear this on a re-recording, they're going to be like, what? Tariq Nasheed, he agree with that. This is another one of those. And I'm like, look, I don't have no argument. I talk to people all the time, all over the place. So Woodism said, Brianna Williams has some unfinished business and she's coming to Eugene to add another world record to her haul. Let's see. Pimp the 478 said, right now Jamaica is definitely the hardest for women's 100 meters. Yeah, as far as that, yeah. I don't think anybody should be switching nationalities to go over Jamaica. And then second best would be USA. But yeah, the hardest for women's 100, definitely Team Jamaica. Anybody that argues otherwise, they're smoking, they're biased. You know, everybody's biased, but they are propaganda. They're smoking their own propaganda. That's what they're doing. Here, let me blaze through these next ones so I can shorten up the time. Heat 1. Out of this whole list, Bromell, easy pick. If we ain't getting no Trayvon Bromell through this one thing he is going to be able to do, he going to make it through the trials. He's looking good now. He's looked good last year too, but he looks much better this year. Although he's a little bit nervous and on his heels. I got to do a special shout out to Mike Rogers. I got much respect for this man that comes out and run like 1,000 races a year. My question now, is he going to make it through the rounds? I really got to ask that in a serious way because I got to say this is probably one of the worst seasons I've seen for him. And I'm friends with him on Facebook. Never really chatted him up like that. He don't know me from a grain of rice. He knows, of course, the other people that he speaks to on their YouTube channel and everything. But I got to say, mad respect to Mike Rogers. I like to see him make it through the rounds. But I got to give an objective view here. The way his season been looking so far, I don't know if he's going to make it through to the final round. I see him making it out of this round. Maybe. And I just say a big fat maybe. But I don't know if I see him making it out of semis if he can make it here. Because you got Bromell in this one, he's making it through. Kyrie King, I got him. Javon Martin, as far as Heat 1. That's who I got there for my top 3 right here. And then everybody else is kind of opening in the air. But Mike Rogers, I think he could still pull something out and make it through to the next round. Fred Curley, I got to say, out of all of these, I think Fred Curley got the easiest heat. Fred Curley's got the easiest heat matchup out of all of these. Compared to his PR matched up on everybody else, including Christian Coleman, which he has a bias, so he only just got to run. All he got to do is walk. But compared to everybody else, PR to PR and matchups and everything, and just head-to-head type of thing, Fred Curley is given a cakewalk. And at first, before I remembered that Coleman is the defending champion and he's going to make it through, I'm like, man, they making Coleman work. They got Breesy in this heat, which he's kind of inconsistent a little bit. But, I mean, he's right there with Coleman. So I'm just like, man. So let me put it here. I see Fred Curley, and really, no disrespect to anybody else in the rest of this, I don't really see too many of these athletes making it through to qualifying to the final in this second heat, being who they got them matched up with. See anybody on here from Curley, Garcia, Warner Savage, Charleston, Harden, Lang, Belcher, and Lindsey? Do y'all see any of these people making it through to the final? Because I'm not only saying, hey, I'm not just thinking about who's making it through to the next round, but through to the final. And I really don't see anybody else here doing it. I just see Curley. So I'm just going to have to say, yeah, I don't know. So going through here, Since Christian Coleman got a bye, but he's still gonna knock somebody else out when he runs. So Christian Coleman, obviously, unless he just walks, then it depends on if he walks or not. And I don't see him. I think he just might put down a fast time and then boom, I'm scatting out of there. Bracey, he's definitely gonna be there, depending on how Coleman runs or what shape Coleman is in, also, because this will be a big test for him. Bracey's gonna either get first or second here. And then I got Elijah Hall there, Kendall Williams. Those are going to be the ones there. But this one is actually a harder one. You got Jackson, Hall, Thompson, or just Elijah Hall as he goes by most of the time. And then Williams, aside from Bracey. That one is more of a stacked matchup here. So head to head, this is going to be very interesting because all the heat is on the other side of Bracey. All of them on the track. And then Coleman, he ain't got to really try or sweat at all. Coming back to the last one, Michael Williams. Now, here's the thing with him. Even though he got 7th at NCAAs, remember last year, Michael Williams really didn't do nothing either. And then he still made the USA Olympic team. So I kind of got a little bit of faith in him that he's going to make it through in this first round and that he can still make the USA team. So I'm going to give him that. Kenny Bednarek, a lot of times people forget that he's in races, that he's in the 100. He's just that hidden in between. Remember one of the streams I did a few weeks back and people were like, yeah, I forgot about him too. I'm like, this dude is like a stealth ninja. Like, you don't even know he's in the race. He just got like his lack of presence. He can sneak up on you and just stab you in the back. So kind of goes with his bandana and everything. Look, so I mean, I think he gonna stealthily just make it through. Then Mekhi Harris, I think he's gonna show his spot right there. As far as that Isaiah Young, one of these four, they gonna have to make it through on time. But I think those are my safe picks right here. And if I had to pick somebody that's gonna make it through on time, I'm gonna just have to go with Young. I'm gonna have to go with Young. But that's a slight going with Young. And I know some people might find that controversial. Let me read the comments before I switch over to the next event. Let me see. What is them? I already read that. Steve Patrick said Glenn Mills is saying Seville can run 10-6. Interesting. And then Kumo said time has caught up with Rogers. I hope he makes it to the semis. I don't see him making it to finals. Yeah, exactly. And then he said, "Oh damn, I didn't know Martin was running. I think he could make it to the final." Yeah, as far as here, I think you mean Marvin Bracey. But yeah, Mike Rogers, all respect to you. Salute, man. I forgot to do the post before, but I might have to remember to do it again to honor people that are still here that's been running for a long time. And as I'm honoring people that's running for a long time, let me switch over to this real quick. I know some people may not necessarily agree on the distance events like that or have an interest, but let me do this real quick. Let me shout out to Evan Yeager right now. I remember running against him. This dude blew my bricks off in high school. He's a little bit older than I am, but I remember running against the Chicago suburbs, and I think I only ran in 2 races with him. Other than that, I've seen him run when I was there, I think sophomore while he was a senior. And this dude is the American record holder in the 3,000 steeplechase. He hasn't made a team since 2017. He's been dealing with a foot injury, Achilles injury, hamstrings, everything. The dude, foot, calf, Achilles, and all types of stuff. He hasn't even shown up to nationals since 2018. So if he can get back to his 8 flat, basically, he's the 13th fastest steeplechaser. He's run 8:27 this year. So that's the elephant in the room on who can stop Hillary Bohr, which is likely the favorite I got here for winning the 800. That's who I got here for winning the 800. But if Yeager can make it out of this round, he's also in the 5,000. I don't think he's going to do anything there. He's never had a kick. And so now that he doesn't have his fitness, everybody been pulling away from him this year. So shout out to Evan Yeager. from Algonquin Jacobs. Just got a shout out to him, especially our Midwest people. Now, going back over to one of the sprint events. Let's see what we're going to do. We're going to do the women's 400 hurdles. Now, real quick, where are we at? Dalilah Muhammad. So, a lot of people have been having questions with her. After what she did last year, I think everything just got to be like, look, let me see here. Kumo said, I don't know how well Young is running, so I don't see him doing anything. I do see Kyrie King could make the finals as well. If I'm not mistaken, he PR earlier this year or came very close. Yeah, Kyrie King, that's why I said Isaiah Young, I had to just be like, yeah, I think he's going to have to make it on time. He's just going to have to make it on time. Because Kyrie King, if I had to put some money, I'll put it on Kyrie King. I wouldn't put my life on him, but I put it on Kyrie King as far as money. But yeah. So as far as this, look, Dalilah Muhammad here. After what I saw her do last year, being injured, had COVID-19, and then racing herself into shape every single week, and then almost still being able to beat Sydney McLaughlin. Y'all just don't understand. This woman can run till Paris. Like, she's that fast at this age. At what she's doing, she can still be running at these high levels until Paris. And yeah, people are counting her out, and I'm like, yeah, she might not be able to necessarily showcase herself throughout the season. She's like an Andre DeGrasse. At some point, DeGrasse is gonna stop showing up at the championships. Like, his bad races throughout the season are gonna eventually show up at the championship. And every single year, people are like, okay, is this year? Is it this year? Is DeGrasse not going to show up at the championship this year? Like, is he not going to do it? That's what people are hoping for Dalilah Muhammad. Like, look, she runs horrible races. It's like hit and miss. It's like if you saw her and only judged her off of her in-season races, you'd be like, okay, is this chick going to do anything? She was the Olympic champion in Rio. Then she won in Doha. Like, wait a minute. Is this the same person that did that? Yes, it's the same person that did it. She just has horrible, inconsistent races before and after the championships. Remember the Diamond League final last year? She faded back into like 4th place. It was just like, who is that? That's not Dalilah. So she knows how to get herself in good shape for championships. So she's got a bye. She's just going to do the first round. Just had to do all of that. Ashley Spencer, please. Oh, God almighty, Ashley Spencer. I did not check this again. I believe I did overlook that in my notes. She did not. Oh, my goodness. Why didn't she do it? Ashley Spencer's putting all her weight into the 400 hurdles. That's what I thought. I did check my notes correctly. Please make the team this year. I'm begging you to make the team this year. So Ashley Spencer, with all of that, she's going to make it out of the first round. Sydney McLaughlin is going to make it out of the first round. And then after that, I don't have a real good call there. I will shout out to Simone Wilson, though, from Concordia University, the track I used to train on, and the one I ran my sectional and conference championships a couple years on there for Chicago. So shout out to Wilson for a Chicago athlete. She's most likely ain't coming from another state, not going to that university, not there. Shout out to Simone Wilson for representing Chicago in the Midwest and making it to the USA national team. I got to give the shout out right there. So hopefully she makes it through, but I only got those two called here. Now to the next round, Dalilah Muhammad's taking somebody's spot. I think Russell from Kentucky. I think that one is an easy, quote unquote, easy call. And then I want to say Caitlin Walker, but then Bellamy has looked good for Coastal Carolina University at the NCAAs. Now, Watson from Florida going to the next one. I would say she makes it through. Shamir Little, I kind of shake my head at Shamir Little. Make it through to the next round, please. No, not make it through. Make the USA team, because sometimes she's hit and miss, and I wanted the medal. So she's going to go through. I call her going through. Watson as well. Let's get through this one. Cockrell, she had a great showing last year. Then we got Britton Wilson. I would say there. I think I actually forgot somebody here, our decathlete, but I'm just going to go straight through that. Let's go over to the 200s. And I got to give my... Wait a minute. What? I could have sworn we had a start list here. Wait. Oh, I went to the final. How the heck did I go to the final? Let's go to the women's 200s here. Then we're going to cover a little bit of Jamaica because I'm approaching about 15 minutes. And I'm going to be at an hour. So I'm going to wrap up no matter where I am. I said 1 hour for each one, and that's all I got. Now, when it comes through here, they said, bro, we have to talk about Corey Carter. The 2017 Hurdles World Champion. I haven't seen her race since that final. Man, this is yet another person I tried to hit on. I remember. Yeah, she had an injury. You said you haven't seen her race since that final. So, okay, this is what happened to Corey Carter. So, Corey Carter had an injury, and she actually had to pull out from last year, and it was like a last-minute decision. And I forgot what injury it was, but clearly it wasn't enough for Corey Carter coming through and doing anything. Steve Patrick said, any news on Mboma being fit? I'm focusing only on USA and Jamaican athletes. I'm not talking about anybody else other than that correlation I did with Andre DeGrasse because it was an example. But I'm not talking about what he's going to actually do or anything like that. I'm staying only on USA and Jamaica. So, yeah, Corey Carter was injured. So that clearly has carried over. So hopefully she could show up next year for that. So her fitness must not be back. Now, when it comes through with this, Quinera Hayes, Carter is a Christian. I don't understand what that means when you mean me hitting on her and whatnot. You think I'm not a Christian? I don't get it. Anyway, but that just threw me off. Sha'carri Richardson making out of this route. Candace Hill, Gabby Thomas. This one is actually a more heated up one right here. Out of all of these heats that they got right here, why did they put all of these athletes in the first round? Like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand why they put all of these athletes in this first round. Now, Richardson is actually pretty weak in the 200, so I can kind of see that. But if she can get some of her fitness back, sure. But I think this one is more stacked. What do y'all think here? Like, what do y'all think here? Like, looking at all of these, I'm gonna just compare this all together. You got a couple of 400 athletes in Quinera Hayes. You got Lena Irby that traditionally does the 400 in the last heat. But Sha'carri Richardson, as far as making somebody work, yeah, she's going to make number 3 work out of there. She might have to qualify on time, actually, to be honest. But Gabby Thomas having to go against some of the athletes here, yeah. But Gabby Thomas, easy win here. She's going to dance on them. Unless she just has a bad race. Then, like I said, Candace Hill, it's a question mark whether she's back in fitness. Richardson, I'll say Bryant, Richardson, Thomas, and that's my call there. Everybody else got to make it on time. Then we got Abby Steiner, easy call there. Sturgis is going to be the other one. Davis, I think those are clear ones. Courtney Johnson, question mark. Flannel, also a question mark. Let me go here a little bit quicker here. Briscoe, if she was struggling in the 100, she's doubly struggling in the 200, in my humble opinion. Brittany Brown, our medalist from Doha, I think that's going to be an easy one to call here. Cunnison, also an easy call. Prandini, those are your, I would say those are the 3, just because the other athletes there. Now, I think, again, Shannon Ray might actually surprise. We might have an Ayers that comes in here from Baylor and surprises, but I just don't see it. Now, here, Lena Irby. I think this will be a good practice run for her 400. Now in high school, as I've seen her run personally, announce so many of her races, I think she used to be a big threat in the 200. She used to be a big threat in that 2 and the 4, but she's not much of a threat in the 200 anymore. So when it comes down here, TT Terry and Anavia Battle, I think they got this one wrapped up easily. Those two, but TT Terry right there. To Tamara Clark, I would say it depends on which one we see, and it depends on if she even tries. Those three got this one there. Everybody else is gonna have to qualify on time. That's simple as that. Open close case as far as there. Men's 200. Let me go right here. Very interesting. I want to see what Josephus Lyles is gonna do compared with his brother. Kumo said, man, I used to believe Candace Hill was gonna break the 100-meter and 200-meter world record someday after watching her youth and junior years. See, that's the thing. So when people are wondering why I talk about Brianna Williams and everything like that, and I remember one person said he must be obsessed. It's like, no, when you see some talent, it's like when I saw talent in the 800 athletes, or I see somebody like a Candace Hill. Sometimes people hit puberty. People forget that when you see somebody as a youth, especially on the female side at a young age, when they start hitting puberty and their hips start widening up, they start getting injuries that they may not ever be able to come back from. Their running form might change. They got the slightly forward lean that's in them, and you could tell I've been a coach. So these are the things that are the challenges there. And for guys like Arian Knighton, men don't usually start developing until later into our early and early 20s, and we stop, maybe growing at about 23. So he might have some injuries that he has that are growth-based injuries that he was looking so good at the age of 17 and 18 and 19, and then boom, it's like, wait a minute, what happened to him? So there are two different periods of time where a man or a woman or a girl or a boy may be injured compared to other ones, and they just might not come back. And Candace Hill, obviously, she had faced some issues developing through puberty, and hopefully she can adjust her training to her body now. These are things that people got to come in mind there. And I think Brianna Williams might be facing some of that, and it might not be her coach. It might, because we know she got a good start. But I'll talk about that later. Arian Knighton, boom, he's got this. I think Lyles should be able to get it. He's actually a decent 200 runner, just not as good as his brother. I've seen both of them personally, and announced them at their races as a youth, and they look roughly similar, stronger in different form, of course, but similar to how they were before. So it's a reliable one. Kendall Williams, I think that's got to be one. This one's going to be hard for the next ones. The first two, or the first one in this one, is easy. And I think Kyrie King and Arian Knighton, Harris, and then Williams, those two I think are going to be hard. But if I had to pick one making it on time, I would say in this one, it's going to be Harris, just because they're coming out of NCAAs there. Steve Patrick said 200 meter is fierce. This is why I'm baffled why Miller Weibo wants to switch to it. I'm gonna stay on topic here. I was gonna make a comment there, but I'll stay on topic. I'll save that for my general stuff when I do the recap tomorrow and everything. Brian Gibson said, guys, Candace Hill had a terrible Achilles injury, and she is now on the comeback trail. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She had an injury that's like a growth-related injury too, that's going through there. Like, our body is still growing. That's the thing. Like, I was still growing when I grew an inch by the time I got to college compared to when I was in high school. Her, at her age, because she was so fast, so young, she was still growing. She might not have been growing at the age of 20, 21, 23 like a man does, but as a youth, she was still developing. Her body was still developing. That's my whole point there. And then Kumo said, man, I hope Josephus does something special. I want to see him step out of the shadow of his brother and not be seen as Noah Lyles' brother. I hope he breaks 20. And then I always thought Candace didn't take track that seriously because of her studies. She did mention years back that she values her studies more. Who knows? She might come back and do something special. Man, Candace, better. I mean, that's a smart thing. That's a smart thing. Candace better be valuing a man over her studies and track. Let me stop. Because you know, men are the workhorses here. But in any case, that's my first round. Heat 2. When it comes down to it, Isaiah Young, I gotta say that he's gonna be one of the people here. Even though I kind of, said he's not gonna make it through for the first round in the 100. His 200 does look pretty decent there. Noah Lyles is definitely an easy one, and doesn't Noah Lyles just I'm surprised because of the buy and everything. Why doesn't he just focus? Why didn't he just enter in the 100? I just don't understand why. That's what I'm questioning here. And people say, hey, he's focusing on Arian Knighton. He's got to get more 200s under him. He's trying to go for after a world record and everything like that. So it kind of makes sense. I still would have liked to see him there. They're still likely going to put him on a 4x1 like they did before. It will be reliable to put Noah Lyles on a 4x1 like they did in 2019. I mean, that's an easy call right there. As far as that, I would say these two are going to make it through. Anybody else, I would say Patterson looked good in the NCAAs, so I'm going to give him the next one. Heat 3. Elijah Hall, of course. Christian Coleman has got a lot to prove here in this 200 as far as fitness-wise and what that's going to look like going forward. Definitely, let's see what he does as he's going to focus on that. And that's going to show us some of the strengths he's got to hold up on his speed. He misfired here earlier this season. So people are like, especially Bromell and everything was like, yeah, I got this. But Coleman still got it. Will he be able to develop that speed endurance that's necessary in the 100? Because he ain't got no shot, not a chance in hell to win. I would say even medal in the 200. He would surprise me, and y'all got me on recording for this one. If he even medals in the 200, any given year right now, and next year I'll evaluate it on that one. But any given year in the past or right now, as he looks now, yeah, no. But Elijah Hall, Fred Curley, of course, and then Coleman. That's going to be your people to make it through. And I got to say, this one is actually a little more stacked than the other ones. Bolin, this is going to be interesting if he does anything, because he kind of flopped again at the NCAAs compared to expectations, that is. They said, wait, Noah is in the 200? Bruh. I know. Kumo, I'm just baffled why he scratched the 100. That I'm just baffled. But looking at his time, he probably was disappointed and was like, yeah, this 995 is not gonna make it. So I can understand in some ways. But Bolin, I can see him making it out of this round. Yeah, of course. Bolin making it out of the round. Bednarik obviously making it out of the round. And then as far as this, I got it as a toss-up here. I would say Jeremiah Curry. What do you guys think on this one? I know I'm going to go to the next event, and I got about 4 or 5 minutes before I go to Jamaica and start covering some of that. And I'm going to have to just do that off of going over to the website now and then doing that. Miguel Francis running under the UK flag will surprise the Americans at World Championship. Steve Patrick said, man, Steve Patrick, you keep trying to change the subject. We staying on topic here, man. We staying on topic. USA, Jamaica athletes. I understand Francis and everything going over to UK and whatnot. That's very interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. But let's stay on topic. But yeah, that's a good point. All jokes aside. But yeah, they said I actually think Bolin can make the final. Yeah, this would be very interesting. I don't think he's gonna do anything but make the final, but I can't even see him getting 5th in the final. I can't even see him getting 5th. But let me see what else I'm gonna blaze through real quick before I get over to Jamaica side. Obviously, Grant Holloway I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and he's just gonna be, all right, I'm just gonna do what I need to do. Boom, I got the buy. I don't really got to do it. Almighty Williamson is a fantastic name. The parents got to get a gold medal for this name right here, Almighty Williamson. That's even better than naming your son King Williamson. Almighty. There we go. Almighty Williamson. I give him a gold medal just for showing up. If he goes across the track, he's the world champion this year in 110 meter hurdles. Just because of that. All right, next round. Devin Allen, this is going to be interesting. Depending on what Grant Holloway does, if he does 2 rounds, because I don't think he want to be matched up with Devin Allen, not after that mishap that happened just 2 weeks ago. I don't think he wants to do that. So I think Grant Holloway does 2 rounds. Get some hurdle races under his belt. If he does run all the way to the final round, I'll applaud him for that one. But Holloway needs some races under his belt, because he missed so many earlier in the season because of the wind on one. He said he wanted them to turn it around, and then they didn't at Bermuda. And then another race he scratched because I think of similar reason. And then I think he signed up for one more. He like scratched 3 in a row. So then he came out to that one as a season opener. And then people don't realize that's one hell of a season opener, actually. Brian Gibson said bowling will be beaten out of sight. I know, right? But yeah, Devin Allen. So here's the update on him. Here's my note here. He said he's not actually leaving track and field. He's actually going to combine NFL with track and field. And congratulations to that. You know what? That's going to change the narrative of people saying, you know what? They just go after money. Now, obviously, if he doesn't think he can handle it, he's going to sacrifice one or the other. But there are NFL athletes that have been silver medalists and competing in the NFL and everything. He's combining both. And I think Devin Allen has proven my point that I talked with my friend and other coaches. If you do, instead of that, you don't have to actually be real good at push-ups. You don't have to be real good at the deadlift or all of this stuff. Sure, you don't have to be the best. But if you don't got a full body of work, you're missing out on your body. And Devin Allen being almost there with that, with the, I think it's 0.4 of a second away, or 4/100ths of a second away from the world record in this. Gosh dang, I think he's gonna get the world record. I think he's gonna get the world record before, if Holloway does get the world record, before Holloway does, unless he runs lights out, balls out in this first round, and he can get it, and the wind is good, legal, and everything like that. I would say Devin Allen is probably gonna get the world record, and it's gonna depend on how he runs in this final round. And I think he might break that 0.8 that everybody's been trying to get to with Aries merit, everything. Deletta said Usain Bolt was injured too at the early start of his career. And then Kumo said he's going to do track in NFL. His ACLs are not going to be happy with that, LOL. Hey, this is going to be interesting. He's going to see. Now, he's definitely bigger than he was last year. I think technically 2 minutes over my time, so I'm going to wrap it up right here with a quick one, with my final words on this, and then I'm going to go to the Jamaican side. Now, I think Devin Allen is going to get that world record. The way he's looking, and I remember it was so crazy because I called him winning at that Diamond League because he was so close to Parchment every single one of the races. He kept getting closer and closer and closer. And now he's beating Holloway, obviously, with the season opener. Holloway is still the favorite here, but I think Devin Allen might get the world record and then lose, or he gets the world record first. Because if he gets the world record at the World Championships, obviously he's the winner. So, where's the women's? Hold on. It's the day before. That's where it was. This is what I want to say real quick, just as a quick note. And then Allison Felix in the women's 400. Lena Irby, I see her making it through. Felix. making it through. And unfortunately, Ashley Spencer is not doing both the 400 and the 400 hurdles, because I think that would be good for her to do both. Obviously, she probably wants to make sure she's not fatigued, or maybe it's how the schedule is. Women's 100 hurdles. Oh, I already got it here. So we got our Nia Ali. Where's she at? Oh, I'm like, wait a minute. Why is that not popping up? Okay. I guess they didn't complete the list yet. Oh yeah, they haven't. It's in green. So this is where I didn't have the note on. So yeah, Nia Ali is our defending world champion. So she gets a bye. She's gonna just do the first round. So let me go over to Jamaica. Let me pull it up on this screen first. JAA. What is it? Oh no, athletics.ja.org. So let me pull it up on the screen here. Jamaica National Championships. It says, let me see. It says order of events. Why would I need to download order of events? Entry form. Feature athletes. So I don't see it again. Where are we at? Anybody? Because you guys said that it's here. Live meet interaction. They said that NCAA champ will whip both Allen and Holloway. He will show them both a clean pair of heels. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so about that one. Both of them, I don't see any of the NCAA champions beating any of the men or the women. I don't see that. The USA is the strong nation here in the hurdles, and I don't see that. That's like saying that what's her name last year was gonna beat Sydney McLaughlin or Dalilah Muhammad. We got that type of thing going on in the 100-meter hurdles or the 110-meter hurdles. No. Okay. Meet listing page. Okay, is this what you guys were saying? That it's finally up? Nope. Says download results. Okay, I don't need to see the results. This has last year and previous years. No. Let's go to the live results page. Oh, they finally got it. God damn. I wish I would have known this earlier. Okay. I'm going to focus on where we at. This is the senior qualifying. All right. So we got this right here. Okay. Hold on. Let me do a quick look through here, just because I'm going to have to be doing this on the on here. I think it's going to be a little bit. Why don't they have them matched up like they have the women? I guess they're still getting it together. Oh, okay. Okay, what is this? What am I looking at on this page right here? Are these the slow athletes before you get to Yeah, that's what I think this one is. Yeah, that's the qualifying round because so many people are there. So, okay, guys, share it. I can see the views are going up. So y'all must have been like, look, he's talking about Jamaica. And I just shared it. I finally shared it. I don't want to share it to my timeline until he starts talking about Jamaica. So until I can figure out what the heck I'm looking at right there, let me go through on these right here. On the women's 100. I'm going to go through on what I know. And then I'm going to double back on the other stuff here. Now, Elaine Thompson-Herah, easy first round. What is that? Top 3 plus the next 4 fastest times. Okay, so we're doing the prelims, semis, and finals. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was looking at the qualifying rounds. because this is the prelims right here, but they didn't give the heat sheet. This is the qualifying prelims, which means those are the people, whoever qualifies from here, because they have so many entrants, will actually be put into this. They don't have the heat sheet, so I'm gonna have to go on visual sight and everything like that. I don't know who's matched up against each other, so I don't really like announcing or doing a preview based off of that, to be honest, because then it's easy. I could be like Oblique Seville, this thing, like, nah. Sometimes it's a matchup thing. So of course, Elaine Thompson-Herah, Natasha Morrison. Okay, I want to do a quick point right here. Now, Natasha Morrison was coming in with a faster time than Brianna Williams last year in the qualifying rounds. But you know what winded up happening? Either she got hurt or something, because the rest, every single race after that, she got slower and slower and slower. With the exception, not even the exception of one race. So something must have happened after that, because she came in with a much faster time. If she even ran near her season best that time, she would have beat Brianna Williams off of that relay squad as far as that. So this is going to be very interesting. Y'all know how y'all favorite coach like to do revenge on people. And Natasha Morrison, before people were saying she was inconsistent. No, she hasn't been inconsistent. She got her ass kicked out of MVP. She got kicked out of MVP. All due respect to all the athletes, but you know I got to talk how I got to talk. She got her ass kicked out of MVP. Then she had to ask graciously to be put back in the MVP. The years that she was out of MVP, her times went down. That shows you that the coach knows how to train some athletes. And I'm going to bring it up here as proof, because I want y'all to remember, I think it's easy for us to call the big three and everything like that. And of course, we got Shelly Ann Fraser-Price out, right? Let me bring this up here on the back end on this screen. As soon as she got kicked out of MVP, her times went kaput. We're going to look at progression here, actually. Okay, she's in MVP, got kicked out, and then what happened? She can't break 11 seconds. She can't break 11 seconds to save her life. She gets back in there. She runs a new PR. She was in there just one season, basically. Then she runs a PR, a 1087. Do not ignore Natasha Morrison. I'm telling you, even though she only put in an 1122, that don't mean nothing. Now, she could be dealing with the injury that got her from last year, so she might not be a factor, to be fair. She might not have it. She might not make it through the first round. But if she's going to be competing in future years, I just want to point that out here. I just want to point it out that, sure, she might not have gotten anything. She ran real slow against the wind here. Then she went over to Rabat, and she got third with an 11:22. Look, she did this earlier. She might not look like she's going to do anything. No, she got kicked out. If my research is correct. Oh, let me see. If my research is correct, it was Natasha Morrison and then two other people that got kicked out of MVP. Now, I could be wrong in this, so if I am wrong, let me hold that back. Let me say allegedly right here, because I had to look that one out, because it was her and Christine Day. So that's a good call there, because I don't want to put any of the, I don't want to, thank you for Rosemarie McGregor. Let me do some research on that one, because I remember I had a link on my old laptop. I'm in a brand new laptop and everything like that. So, yeah. So Kimber Nelson is back at MVP. Wait a minute. When did she get back at MVP? She's training with Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, is she not? When did this news come here? Hold up. Hold up. When did she go to MVP? Nah, I can't see her going back after she went to let me look here. Nah, I don't see her. I don't even see that looked up. Let me stay back on here on the analysis real quick so I can get this real, because I don't want to waste too much time going through a little bit of that jargon there. But look, Natasha Morrison is definitely somebody to look out for when it comes to there. Because, you know, Brianna Williams could just run an 11 something. And it might just, for whoever that is, for fourth or fifth or the alternates on the relay, if that's who they decide to have, they might just say, hey, hey, look, you ran 11.021 and Natasha Morrison ran 11.01, 11 flat. That could happen. I'm just letting you know, y'all good old coach over there, MVP, is doing some stuff. Let me check Kimba Nilsson right quick. Wait a minute. Oh, here she is. It says University of Oregon, so it doesn't show who she's with right now. But she's not with MVP. Steve Patrick, you just had me waste time looking up that stuff. She's with Shelly Ann Fraser Price's camp. That's who she's directly being mentored by. If I'm not mistaken, she said it herself that she's being mentored by Shelly Ann Fraser Price. So it would be kind of weird her getting mentored by Shelly Ann and then going to run for MVP again. Like, nah, She left as she's leaving with her mentor. And I mean, that's the perfect person to do it. You see her when she blaze up people. So here, Natasha Morrison and Elaine Thompson-Herah out the first round. Shelly Ann Fraser Price gonna do her thing and just stop running. Brianna Williams, I mean, if she doesn't make it, I'm gonna be very surprised out of the first round. Dominique Clark, I think she may have a chance of doing it. That's going to be a harder one to call for those head-to-heads here. That's why I wish I had more time to do some notes on some of these other athletes. Now, when it comes down to Nilsson, with Shericka Jackson's just going to jog on her. Kimba Nilsson's going to be trying as hard as possible. Joanne Reed, I think she has a chance of doing it. Malcolm is going to be a very big wild card for me as far as me looking at this about who makes it on time, who versus makes it out on that. Because Nilsson and Jackson definitely got it. It will be insane for somebody to bet against them. I'm going to have to look that one up. Because I just looked up the articles about that, and I don't even see the agent representing her on the World Athletics page that they normally have as the agent for MVP athletes. Because they put that on the pages. They don't have any athlete or any agent here at all, to be honest. So maybe she doesn't have an agent yet, but if she did, it would be the one that represents the athletes at MVP. Most of them. Not all of them have the same one, but most of them share the same agent. I've looked at this enough to see it, but this gonna be some news, man. So that'll be some news with me. Now, when it comes to this last heat, Kavana Davis, University of Texas. Let's hook them real quick, make it through that next round. Ashanti Moore and Shashali Forbes. I think those are the ones, as I just looked at this, that would make it through to that next round. Just on those head-to-heads that I'm looking at. Christiana Williams, maybe. But I think the wild card here is going to be Natasha Morrison. Because Shelly Ann Fraser Price is out. So that leaves you with Shericka Jackson and Elaine Thompson-Herah. Those two just coming through. Now, here's the thing. Elaine Thompson-Herah is dealing with an injury issue to her shoulder or something. Now, people are saying Achilles. When I looked it up, I didn't see not a word of that. So I hear people now making excuses for if something happens to her, like they did with 2017 when nothing was wrong with her. Absolutely nothing. If something happens to her and they say, well, it's the Achilles, see, she ain't there. Man, all the athletes are dealing with something. It's niggles or something like that. They just don't bring it up. You know, all the athletes, or most of them, are dealing with something. So, just like somebody pointed out earlier, Usain Bolt was dealing with injuries early in his career, especially professional career. I mean, it is what it is. He dealt with injuries all the time, and he still came and got gold medals. So I can't really doubt that. Michael Johnson ran on a hamstring injury, and set the 200 or 400 world record. I mean, it happens. And he had 4 rounds that he had to go through, not 3. So if you really think about it, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Let's not make an excuse here. So if she is running through that, so anything can happen. I don't wish it on her. I want to see her come through to the World Championships, but I got to point that out because it gets aggravated after multiple rounds. And that's the problem that we're dealing with here. Multiple rounds. Elaine Thompson-Herah got to deal with that. Now, so those 2 spots are there. The wild card is going to be Natasha Morrison, because I got Kimber Nelson as 3rd over Brianna Williams. I really don't think Williams has shown anything here yet. But here's the big but. Williams seems to get ready for championships real well. I want y'all to know that. Williams gets ready for championships very, very well so far. I mean, we only got an evidence of 1 senior championship, to be honest, because of what happened in the year of the Doha with the erasing the records and everything like that, and they're pulling out. But I think that she might be another DeGrasse, Dalilah Muhammad type, where throughout the season she might look like trash on some of her races. It's like she might look good, and then the next race she's like, where's she at? And then after championships, it's like, where's she at again? Like, she's literally the championship type of runner. Hey, that's okay if you can get medals, because all that matters when it comes to the international scene is what you could do in the medals. If you can't do anything else throughout the season, that's for Diamond League and Continental Tour to be concerned, and local trash talking. But the dark horse, just like Rosemary McGregor said, Natasha Morrison is a trials dark horse. Yeah. To be the best, you have to beat the best, injury or not. Yes, exactly. Matthew Hogarth said, Kimber said she doesn't know where she's going yet. She said it on an Instagram question and answer. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'll do some research on that to see that. Oh, yeah, by the way, anybody that's still here listening, definitely like the stream. I appreciate that. And anybody that's giving Cash App, because I know normally when I do these long streams, especially with Championship, I typically get a Cash App. So I'm not currently, my phone broke with that. So if you have been doing it, shout out to you that have donated via Cash App or PayPal. My phone screen got smashed in. So I got a replacement one, but I haven't downloaded Cash App or anything on there. So I appreciate anybody that has done that. I forgot to shout that out earlier. So let me go over to the men. See, here's the issue with the men right here. We got this, so they don't have everybody lined up in their heats because they're going to pull some other people in from whatever happens here. So I'm just not going to be able to do this. I mean, Oblique Seville, the way he was looking, seems to be a shoe-in to make it out. Johan Blake is actually looking much better this season, so that's on the way out. Julian Forte, I think he's gonna be a good pick for who makes it out as far as the 3. But again, I can't say anything without seeing how they're matched up against each other. If I don't see anybody matched up against each other, I can't really say, because the men's side, you only got about one person that really stands out, and I mean really, really stands out, and that's Oblique Seville. But everybody else has kind of been there. They said it's been weeks now. Her shoulder is injured. OL said, yeah. So now let's look at the 19 and under. 19 and under. 19 and under. Where's the 19 under 100? This is the boys 100. And I gotta be honest, I didn't see I'm not as familiar with these guys here, so I'm not even gonna be able to do the 19 and under on the boys side. So I have to apologize for that one. I am familiar with the 19 under girls side much better, because I've covered that more. I cover more women on my side and the girls side, of course, and sometimes I cover the guys. It's just a coincidence. I personally favor watching the men over the women, because time wise and just typically for me it's more exciting, because the guys be doing all of these fanfare events. But funny enough, even though I personally have a bias with that, I don't really cover the men. So y'all would think that I like watching the women more because I cover them almost exclusively on the channel, but no, it just other channels don't cover women that much as the guys, so I winded up just doing that. And it's a happenstance. Where are the 19 under girls? 19 under girls 100. Here we go. Oh, they don't have this one lined up either? Well, this is very interesting. This is going to be a very good matchup. So what I'm going to have to do is Thursday session 1. Hopefully, based on... Okay, yeah, I'm just going to have to probably end it here. They said Akeem Blake is a possibility. I wanted to say yeah on that one, but I see Forte as a stronger when it comes to those guys. But Johan Blake, like I said, he's looking better to me. So that's the thing. That's the reason why I'm saying Johan Blake over Akeem Blake here. Although if Forte has it together, being in and then Akeem Blake got it, then Johan Blake's knocked out. He's the weakest link out of that. So anyway, I'm gonna have to cover this tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back to covering Jamaica prelims tomorrow. They really just don't have everything of the events that are the ones that people care about. Because I know y'all don't care about the 1500. When I'm covering the women's side, because quite frankly, there are no good 1500 athletes on the men or women's side. Y'all have literally one 800 athlete. So there's no pole vaulters that really represent too well from Jamaica. Y'all are starting to get, y'all have the long jumpers, but it's not too much of a competition. So the 400 hurdles, not really as well either. It's really the 1, the 2, the 400, and the long jump and triple jump. Because shot put, y'all got Dowd. So yeah, I'm going to have to cover this tomorrow for the youth. So everybody, I'm going to end this now. I apologize for that one. They didn't have this out early enough, and it's clear. See, it said update pending. That's why I said right before I did this, they were updating these things here. They're still trying to get all of the entries filled in right here. This is kind of last minute stuff. So I'm going to say this. Jamaica, y'all need to have the entries closed like 3 days before and have everything updated so that people can do some analysis, because this makes the sport grow more. You don't have to guess about NFL matchups or anything like that. So yeah, my apologies there. So y'all come back tomorrow. I'm gonna read the comments here, and then I'm gonna end it. So Shireen Sherwood, hey, shout out to you. I haven't seen you in a while. You have Kimba, Shakora Wallace, who's improving, White, Natalia White, and then Brianna is fast. She just don't have the finish. If Otto work on the last 40 meters, Brianna's race, she will do good. Rosemary McGregor said, so ATR, what's your prediction for women's team going to Eugene? Okay, so the women's 100-meter team going to Eugene, if I had to do an overall pick on both the USA team and the Jamaica team right now off the top of my head, let me go back over here. I'm going to say, obviously, Shelly Ann got the bye. So I'm going to say Elaine Thompson-Herah is going to get second. I don't see her necessarily winning or caring to win. I think she does care to win. But I think I see Shericka Jackson pulling the win here. And it might be a surprise to some people just because the start isn't there. But both of them, their start is roughly even. Yet Shericka Jackson could have that oomph when Elaine Thompson-Herah is quite frankly injured. So Shericka Jackson, but Francis does like holding his athletes back. So it goes Jackson, Thompson-Herah. I would say Nelson. Wild card right here is Natasha Morrison. And she might actually beat Nelson. Because I was expecting Nelson to do something last year, and then she kind of blew up. And, you know, the NCAA athletes focus on the NCAAs. Every athlete's body is different, so how they respond to afterward is a little bit different too. So I'm going to just say Natasha Morrison is a wrench thrown in there. It depends on if she makes it out the first round, because the way her time's looking, she ain't even going to make it out the first round. But the camp that she's in and what she did last year, I think they approached her differently this year if she recovered from whatever injury or whatever was bothering her. Now, they didn't, as far as my knowledge, I don't think she was declared injured publicly, but maybe she wasn't a big enough athlete for them to even say that she was injured. It was just like she ran that 1087 PR and then every single race got slower. I don't know. So, on this aspect, she's getting faster each race. So that's good. That's who I got there. Jackson, Thompson-Herah, Nelson, and it's a wild card after that. But without the wild card in there, I would say Williams. Strong fourth place. Williams. They haven't had a matchup together with Nelson and Williams together. But Nelson is going... she might kick her ass. She might kick her ass because Williams, other than championships, hasn't been showing up. And that ain't going to be good enough to be on that relay because they only taking 4. Jamaica has shown time and time again they only have 4 athletes. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price is on there. So it's going to be the top 2, and then that third place person is going to be that other person. That's what's going to happen. And now, let me look at USA, Team USA. Who I got coming out of there? I gotta say, let me look at this lineup again. Oh, actually, let me look at my notes because I actually do got something on. Because I gotta see their names. TT Terry is looking real good. TT Terry's looking good. It's gonna be hard to call this one because English Gardner wants it bad, but will her body let her do it? That's the question. Richardson is not a shoe-in for this one. Remember, she's finished out of the ranks on these things. She's looking better, in quotes, but I got to see it out of the first round. This is a premature one without seeing the first round, but I'm going to say Richardson as a definite there. Sant Price might actually take a spot. And because she always seems to make a team, I'm going to say Daniels. Tiana Daniels knows how to make these teams. I don't know what it is. She don't be looking good at all as far as she's like the behind the scenes person as far as time wise, but she does what it takes to make it through to the next round. If it takes 11 flat to make it, if it takes 1099 to make it, and I'm sure if she needs to run a 1087 to make it, she'll make that team. So Sant Price might actually have what it takes, but between her and TT Terry, it's hard. That's who I think is going to go to Eugene in that 100. Head and Shoulders Kimba is right now at the Jamaican National Stadium working out. Oh, okay. Now, I hope that she's going to do it. Man, Kimba is one of... I had a bias toward Kimba as well for that one because of that speed that she showed in that 60. I love when somebody goes boom and gets out on people. So that instantly, the way she ran it and everything, I was like, okay, that one right there, she's got it. When I saw her the first time, I was like, she's got it. That one right there. So I had a liking to her based on how she was running that. So she surprised me by not making it. But like I said, in the past, I found that people that are the best indoor in the 60, oftentimes, more often than not, other than Maurice Green and the obvious people like Christian Coleman and stuff like that, they don't typically win in the 100. I don't know what it is, but it's like they're really fast, but they don't got any jets or acceleration to hold them through. They said 100 hurdles and 110 hurdles. Tiana, or however you spell it, you spelled it right, is the Talu of USATF. Nah, she's doing better than Talu. Talu be out of the medals. Talu be getting fourth or whatever. Now, Tiana Daniels knows how to make it, because if Talu was in USATF, she would be the person that doesn't make the team consistently. She make the relay teams, but she won't make the team. Tiana Daniels was USA champion once as well, and she knows how to make finals. So I got to say it like that. They said me too about Kimba and the 60 Rosemary said. So yeah, that's what I got to say. Now, if you're asking me who I think will make the team in 100-meter hurdles, well, Nia Ali got the team. Kenny Harrison is definitely gonna do it. Let me look at the lineup. Oh, they don't got the lineup yet, so that's gonna depend on the lineup. I looked at that earlier. That's the only reason why I didn't cover it. Oh, they just finally updated. So yeah, they're updating it live. We seeing this here live. Let me look at this lineup of who's here, because there are some people that scratched. So let me cover this real quick, who I think is going to make it through to the next round. This is very interesting. They're actually putting times in where they didn't put the times in earlier for athletes. Oh, they finally updated the time. Fantastic. Too bad I started the stream an hour ago. So 100-meter hurdles. Okay. I'm doing this a live one here. See, Aaliyah Armstrong, I think she has a pathway of making it. This is somebody that I've been looking at week after week, and I'm just like, and I think even last year, I was just like, okay, cool, she's going to do something. She's going to do something. And I'm looking at her like, they said, remember that Shelly won 60 meters. Yes, yeah. That's what she kind of reminded me of Shelly Ann, but better. That's what when I saw Kimba, I was like, that's like Shelly Ann, but better. And her being mentored by Shelly Ann, I was like, perfect choice. But getting back to the 100-meter hurdles, Aaliyah Armstrong, I've been pulling for her, and I think she's going to be able to make it through these rounds here. Now, what are the qualifying here? Top 4 and 4 fastest times. So making it through to the next round, Johnson, obviously. Armstrong is another one. Funny enough, Dior Hall might not make it, even though she has a faster seed time than many of the athletes here. I'm going to give that to Cunningham and then Kayla Robinson for Texas A&M. She usually shows something, but it's going to depend on which version we see here. If we see her the fatigue version, she ain't going to make it through. But if we see the one that I know that can come through, then she's about to tear up the track and be able to get a good 3rd place in there. Not even 4th, but 3rd. Even regardless of her having a slower technical seed time than some of the athletes here. Now, Nia Ali, she just got to do one round. She's been trying to round into shape, really. She ran that 12. Okay, this is what I don't like. The season best 12:59. They don't indicate that this is a wind-assisted time. This was like a 3.7 tailwind. I'm glad. I do my research. Head and Shoulders, that is the workout link. Wait a minute. Where did you post it? Did YouTube block it, or did you send it to my email? If you send it to my email, I'll check that in a second. Alexis Duncan. Wait a minute. Is this? Hold up. God damn it. Is this the same Alexis Duncan that I knew back then? I think this is. And I'm so glad that she didn't give up. I am so glad she didn't give up. Okay, here's a little bit of background with this one. Yes, this is the same Alexis Duncan that I thought. Okay, So this was an athlete that showed up. Tara Davis was going up in the 100 hurdles back in Lisle, Illinois. This is part of that crew. Wait a minute. No, this might not be the same Alexis Duncan. Let me look this up. Oh, it is. Interesting. Okay, so this is the same crew that I had announced for, and I remember, hey, Athletics Views TV, big up to you too. So here, look, I'm gonna just say this one real quick and then get off of it. But Alexis Duncan is part of that crew, like that all-star crew that was back in Lisle that represented Team USA in 2015, where Sydney McLaughlin, Noah Lyles, and all of the people you're really seeing right now that are there, she was part of them. And Tara Davis, she was there. Did Irby go to that one? I forgot if she did or didn't. But they went to Cali, Columbia that year, and Duncan tripped over one of those hurdles. And I remember she was so upset. She was just like, I quit. And if I'm not mistaken, she didn't run a season after that. So when you look on her athletic profile, there's like a season gap, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she was real disappointed in herself, and I'm so glad and happy that she's competing right now. I had no clue that she was still coming. The athlete out of DeSoto, Texas. So with that being said, I'm gonna say Tia Jones is gonna make it out of here. That's an easy call right here. Nia Ali, obviously, she's got the bye as the world champion. Tania Marshall, Alexis Duncan is probably gonna make it out. It's gonna be very close based on these other times here with Jade Barber and Nelvis. I gotta say Nelvis over Barber, even though the season best and personal best times are there, because Nelvis, looking at this 12:34, if you did it once, you might be able to do it again. And then in the final one, Harrison, I think that's an easy one. Interesting with Jasmine Jones of USC with that 1567. Why did they put that there? I think they mean 1267. But in any case, that's very interesting. Let me look at this quickly here. Yeah, I really don't see too much here. I don't recognize some of these other athletes. So Kenny Harrison is the only one that I can actually safely say that I will call. Is Curly doing both the 1 and the 2? Let me look here because they didn't have that updated. I'm glad I actually did stay on a little bit longer. Entry list is not, oh wait a minute. I thought I did do the 200 earlier. Yes, Curly, I did do the 2. He is doing both the 1 and the 2. Why did I, here he is right here. I did call him out earlier. I did go over this. I forgot. So yeah, Fred Curly is doing the 1 and the 2. Matter of fact, what I didn't look over, because this was my week one coming into this, was the men and women's 400. Let me glaze over this because we did see a lot of okay, I'm getting eye fatigue right here. $400. Anybody of note that we see here that's also doubling through in the 2 or the 1? Michael Norman. I really hope we see him from years past, because this is going to be one hell of a 400 if we can see that. That'll be a good matchup between him, Cherry, and Norwood. Very interesting that Norwood and Cherry are in the same heat. They're going to be working hard getting through these rounds. They're going to be working hard getting through these rounds. And they're both next to each other. Very interesting at the random lottery thing that they got them next to each other this year. So they said Forte is not running. Toki said Melina Brissett retracted her message. Okay. But yeah, I think I covered about everything I wanted to cover. Anybody else got anything? Because right now I'm getting eye fatigue and everything's blended together. I already look at the screen way too dang much when I'm trading. So when I'm doing all of this right here and trading and whatnot, I'm already looking at the screen way too much. So I need to rest my eyes. So, and I don't even trade like this all day. I'm actually handling business in different countries. So anyway, thank you guys for coming out. Shout out to everybody that donated via the Cash App or PayPal. I will check that later and try to shout you out on the next video if you did do that. Usually people do with these. They said True Blue, I heard we may be injured. He may be injured. Oh, that's not good. Oh yeah, I think doesn't he have a YouTube channel? You know what? I should be checking that out because he might actually be saying that there. But yeah, if anybody, as a side subject, last now, if you have anything that's unrelated, this is unrelated to track and field, but if you have any people that you are connected with that do business in any of the countries that you are in, whether the United States, Great Britain, Nigeria, Jamaica, the Virgin Islands, whether U.S. or British Virgin Islands, where they should just middle finger to both of them, give up that colonialism and give it back to the people. But I digress. Wherever you are, if there are people that do businesses, and when I say businesses, I mean it like this, because I'm trying to put together a business network, specifically black businesses that I prefer them to be on code, but we're going to take the black businesses here and I will try to vet them myself. But if you know people that are business owners, or you're a business owner yourself, and I mean registered business, not somebody doing some under the table stuff, not somebody that is doing behind the scenes, kind of on and again, off again, or you're saying we're, quote, developing a business, not those people, but people that are already registered. I want you guys to email me with a title, I know a business, with at HeadAndShouldersATR at yahoo.com. Again, it's this YouTube channel all together, HeadAndShouldersATR yahoo.com. I'm trying to get that together. We're going to have a business conference here in the United States. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to do it in a black town. We're going to try to get this code, like Dr. Claude Anderson said. If you want to be able to do black empowerment and you want to uplift these black people, we're going to have to do it, and it's going to have to be here. Just like the Jews that control so much money while being 0.5% of the U.S. population, the United States Jews control as far as the narrative of what happens throughout the world, as far as them even getting reparations here. And the U.S. wasn't even responsible for the Holocaust, yet they get bills and everything passed. We got to make that strong. We got to make a stand in the United States and other nations. So we're going to have a conference here, and I'm going to try to put that together. Steve Patrick said, I just joined Robinhood. Do another crypto show. So everybody that's here for the sports, this is kind of like the overtime section. Thank y'all for coming out. I'm talking about something else at this point. So yeah, Steve Patrick, Robinhood probably one of the worst exchanges you want to use for crypto, right? Robinhood is one of the worst exchanges you want to use for crypto. You probably want to do Kraken, which is KRAKEN, Kraken. KuCoin, KU coin, is not necessarily for US, so you might be able to do it being in the Caribbean. So, but KuCoin might be for you. Binance.com, it depends on what country, of course, because they're getting scrutiny from US SEC, so they're going to ask you for a whole bunch of information. You may or may not be able to do it, but definitely Kraken is much better because Kraken also is a bank, if I'm not mistaken. It's the first crypto currency exchange that turned into a bank. So that's very interesting there. Also, you might want to, if you're going to do Robinhood, you may as well get Cash App. Oh yeah, that's US based only. You might want to do crypto.com as well. Oh, my blue screen just turned on. It's 9 p.m. already. Oh my goodness. So yeah, if you want to do crypto, definitely that's the things that you want to do. And I might do another cryptocurrency program. And as promised before, where I said how to build up and improve USA, Nigeria, Jamaica, I will be doing those videos. Like I said, they didn't come in the order in which I did because we're now going into the championship season, and I've been so busy. For those people that do, also, it said Lauren Simmons recommends it. Hey, you know what? To each their own with one of those things. but I wouldn't personally do it myself. But I digress. If you guys want to participate in that, I actually have a Telegram group that I've been improving some things now. We might get some farming distributors down in Nigeria without getting too much information, because you got to move in silence. I'm only going to give you a small preview of what I'm doing so that you guys know, and hopefully you guys get inspired. I'm renaming track and field quick hits to black and bold as well. So that's going to be updated as far as a YouTube channel. So you see that under my about page for the other channels on here. So if you want to go and follow that one right now, go to subscribe to that. We only got 6 people subscribed. I ask you guys to do that because we want people that are hitters, that are looking to empower black people. I'm getting tired and sick and tired of people murdering us and nothing is being held in account. Nothing's being held in account because we have too many people that apologize and say, this ain't a race issue. This guy was a genius. No, it's not. That other guy that was in New York that said, wow, this guy seemed like a genius. Of course, the media is always going to put the dumbest and dullest people on television. They're not going to put the people that say, no, that guy needs to be brought to justice. We ain't going to sleep until this dude gets the death penalty. We're not going to sleep until this dude gets life. Is a mercy for this guy. They will not put that on TV. They're gonna find that. So you're not gonna have to trust white media to report on their own stuff. Okay, that's the thing here. For the people that are just joining in, I'm no longer talking about track and field. We're on a different subject now, and this is only gonna last another 11 minutes because I'm gonna do my rehab training, and then I gotta go to sleep because I'm injured, groin pull, and I got a bursitis thing, so I don't want that to do into an Achilles injury after that. So we can't rely on white media to report accurate news. We also can't rely on bootleg media like Roland Martin or people that listen to Joyanne Reed or even Bernie Sanders' former person, Brianna Joy Gray, I think, or Brianna Joy something, whatnot. You notice they want to bring people in that will sell their message, and they use a black face to do it. That's still white media because of who they're funded by. Now, Roland Martin's, he's not white media, although he's trying to bend over backwards as much as he can and say, please give me a biscuit. We don't want to be like that. We don't want to be like that. So I'm putting together the businesses so that we have an economic foundation, because we got a lot of black people that have money, but they're all separate. They're disorganized. I'm only one of the people that are doing this. There are other people that are doing things behind the scenes as well. So if you know that, or you want to join that, what I'm doing, let me know. Send me an email saying that you want to join that Telegram group. I'm going to grill you, and I'm going to talk to you like I talk to everybody else. I curse a lot. I say people are dumb, idiots, and all of that stuff a lot. I talk to everybody exactly the same way. The way I talk on this YouTube channel is how I'm going to talk to people there. I'm going to say, hey, the elite are going to push the message to everybody else. That's what happens. I strictly believe that because that's what happens now. The media pushes out the message and everybody believes it. So if you're not a business owner and you still want to help, this is what you can do. You reach out and you try to go into your network of what you have and say, hey, look, let me see if I can reach somebody that is a business owner and see if they're going to be interested in it. And if they are, send me their contact information, because I'm always on WhatsApp. And then we're going to be talking. Let's link up. Let's have this conference. If I can't do the conference, somebody else is going to do it. Whether it's Tariq Nasheed or anybody else. And whether you like that man or not, based on some things you might have heard him say, whether he used the term tether or whatever, which is a very specific group of non-foundational black American black people. That doesn't mean all black people, but see, people like to mix up messages or hear little snippets and they don't hear the whole thing. If y'all don't like him personally on that, one thing I will say with this, I'm gonna work with somebody I disagree with if they're pushing on the areas that I agree with them on. That's all. On other areas, I ain't working with them or touching them on. Rosemary McGregor said, "LOL, give me a biscuit. You're funny." Hey, that's how it is. I asked somebody what they were eating. It was so funny because this wasn't funny in the moment, because this was a friend I actually had to just like dissociate with. She's coming over from Nigeria, coming to the US, and everything that she said, she literally said that black people here are getting killed for a good reason. I talked to her long enough. I heard it within 5 minutes. And then I said this, and I only spoke to her for 90 minutes because I was trying to get her to see. Maybe she didn't understand. I was giving her exception because other people, I'm giving them max 5 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I already hear how you are. You're one of those self-hating black people that's just going to take everybody down with you. You just want a little bit of money. You want your little butter biscuit, and you will sell us all out. Okay, you stay over there, and I'm going to get my people here. She said that out of her mouth, and at that point that hurt, because that was a friend for a long time I had. That hurt me. That was like a dagger, and I had to cut her off. This was literally on my birthday, on June 4th. I spoke to her, get my blood pressure up on my birthday, and that I was just like, oh, okay. And it's a lot of people that come over with that mindset, and unfortunately I've run into them. So that's why I say, I'm like, yeah, I'm not the only one that hear this. And funny enough, people have thought that I hate black Americans because I happen to talk about a sports channel, or I hate Jamaicans because because I say foundational black American. It's like people try to just nick and prod you or whatever. It's like trying to say you're not Jamaican because you're Jamaican. It's like you hate somebody else because you're Jamaican, and you cover a track and field channel, and if USA athletes are doing well, you gotta not talk about them because you're Jamaican, so you should only talk about Jamaican. That's how people were treating me. So when people heard me that are also foundational black Americans, I get a lot of smoke from all different directions all the time. That's why I just say I personally don't care. I was like, I'm gonna say what I say. So I digress. I'm just sharing with y'all something personal here as a quick note so that you understand where a Tariq Nasheed may come from. Because I saw some of you guys that are regulars here that was just like, yeah, this guy is not whatever, or a Jason Black, or a Professor Black Truth, or those ilk that are standing up and that represent black people to a high regard, that honor the people that are not from the United States as much as they honor people here. But we all just happen to notice we keep running into people that are not born here that just be stabbing us at every time. And some people say it directly to us. So my goal here is to get all the business owners together, and then I'm going to try to make sure the business owners are on code, which means we're talking about black first, that we're not going to sell out our own people for an Asian yuan or a Europe or a white dollar. I want the Jamaican dollar to be stronger. I want the US dollar to be strong because I'm US. So I'm still going to have my own personal thing where I'm not going to try to sacrifice my own nation, because that's where my heritage and lineage is. But I'm seeing other black people, and I want to make sure that these countries ain't going to be at the bottom, because the more you all are at the bottom, the more I'm vulnerable as well. And the more the people around me have the mindset of, I need to get me some, and it's all about me, versus I'm going to take care of myself first, like an oxygen mask that comes out of an airplane. You breathe it first, then you give it to the person next to you. That's what we're supposed to do. So, yeah. Steve Patrick said, unfortunately, some Africans and Caribbean folks think like that. They were born in a country that did not have slavery. No, correction. Here's the thing. Colonialism is slavery. When you look at the amount of people, and I'm going to say it because I personally don't care. They're going to demonetize me right now if I wasn't already demonetized, which I think I am. So when you come out of places where they can openly rape you with guns shoved up your ass, when they can tell you what to do, colonialism is slavery. Colonialism is slavery. And remember, these African nations and some of the Caribbeans have only been liberated for the last 50 years. There are people right now that are old enough that have gone through, I think they've gone through this. I think Nigeria has only been liberated for 61 years. 61 years. 61 years on last month or something like that, or February. And that means there are people old enough to have been born there. They don't talk nothing about it. And the same smoke I have for them, trust and believe. You got so many black Americans that are like that, particularly the baby boomers, which is why I have no respect collectively for them. I had somebody that said, hey, I'm this age and that. When I was talking about the race thing and how they were just kissing Abby Steiner's rear end to no end, but yet they were overlooking Favor Ophelia. And I'm just like, no. Just because you say your age and that you're black too don't mean nothing. Matter of fact, you saying your age and the location you at got me questioning and thinking that, oh yeah, you one of the people that would do that. But I don't want to disrespect none of the subscribers like that. But if the shoe fits, it shoe fits. That person in particular, I don't know their situation. I just know the overall people. I don't have respect for baby boomers of any country. Everywhere you go, I'm going to stick to black people because white baby boomers ain't really that much better. Except the only thing they did was everybody got on code to say, black people, y'all stay at the bottom. And the black people said, all right, master, give me a biscuit. Sheila Jackson Lee, she came over and she said, I'm going to come from, isn't she Jamaican or something like that? She said, I'm going to come over from Jamaica. I ain't going to do a goddamn skippy thing for the Jamaicans other than get them easier immigration here. And then she said, I'm going to give a middle finger to everything dealing with blacks here. That's what she did. She sold out other black people. She said, hey, I'm black just like you when it comes down to some issue. And then every single bill that they do the same thing with that fake female empowerment thing where they really trying to erase women. But then, because they make every woman sound like they are a single mother, particularly the black ones. They make them sound like single mothers like they did with Nia Ali. And here's proof. I don't want y'all to think I'm making this up. I'm going to go straight here and bring it straight up to you from World Athletics itself. Where they do the same rhetoric. The same, here it is. Where are we at? Here's World Athletics. I'm going to have to bring this one up to you. So, here it is right here talking about her as a mother. And if you read this article, because this is the article up right now. This is on the home page. I want y'all to read this article. And at first, when I wasn't aware of these things, it just sounds like, okay, Ali and her partner, Andre DeGrasse. That's about all they mention to him. And then everything else, they got her taking care of the family. She's an everyday mom, just trying to get herself together, coming back stronger than ever. All of this stuff, right? Saying that, oh, people think that we can't do these things. And I'm like, okay, this underlying message that they got here is what they do. They made her sound like a single mother in this article. Just read it. Okay, I don't want to go over the whole thing here. Just read this thing. And I remember taking notes here. I'm growing as a parent. It helps you as an athlete, being able to manage the household and everything. They mentioned Andre DeGrasse one time and then make it seem like she's a single mother, which is kind of disgusting, really. And I'm just like, okay, this is the same thing. World Athletics is in line with this whole thing. The white media is in line with the whole thing. And they want us to eat it up. And people like a Sheila Jackson Lee, a Jimbo Jangles Claiborne over there. He's a foundational black American, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not just somebody not born in the U.S. We got sellouts all over boomers. These boomers sell you out at the quickest dime, the quickest $50,000 check they can get, and they think they're making it. Well, these people will push every other issue. When they say black, they only say black, then they go to people of color. That means everybody but black. They say minorities, everybody but black, but particularly white women. Because a white woman, quote unquote, is a minority. And when you think about it, a white male is a minority because they're only 30% of the population. So when you combine everybody else together, because they use white women as minority, don't forget that, because they're also the same thing, about 30-some% of the population. So why wouldn't a white man be a minority too? You get it? They'll say black, 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 then they'll say LBGT. Remember this always, it's black first. If we want to get something done and we want to stop these mass shootings on us, Because every mass shooting that happens in the U.S., whether it's on other white people or not, is white supremacy. And when people think it doesn't have anything to do with white people, pay attention to why they mass shot those people. They mass shot them because they look a certain color, don't they? The police know all the time. They might pull up on me because they're listening to these, and these businesses work directly with them. This is a nice picture of them, by the way. This is no fault of her. I want y'all to know that. This is no fault of Nia Ali at all. This is how they're writing the article. She's coming in, she's answering questions and everything. So, I mean, she's just answering the question. So this is no fault of her. I don't want y'all to get confused and think I'm taking something out on her. This is how they're writing the article and making it seem like she's a single mother. And then you look at who wrote it. But anyway, let me get back to what I had started with, because I went on a slight tangent. What we want to do here, I went over by 3 minutes. I'll give myself 5 minutes and then I'm out. Let me start the clock real quick. Okay, now, black people that are still listening to this, I want y'all to know they hate you because you're black. I think Jason Black said this. But they can victimize you because you're poor. At every single turn, everything they do is to make sure that we do not economically get together. Remember, white supremacists, which are more powerful than the white people that are not white supremacists, right? They are jealous when a black person can do better than them. Imagine it. Somebody out of Jamaica, somebody out of the US, somebody out of Nigeria. Imagine that person getting the equivalent of $100,000, and this trailer park trash barely got 40,000. They over there looking at you like, in the same location as them too. Or you're becoming a millionaire. They're over there jealous. That's what happened with Wall Street, Black Wall Street. They burned it down because they was like, these niggas over here. What happened here? That was in the north. They built up, they had the only 2 airplanes in the whole entire state. It was either 1 or 2. And they were kind of forced to work with each other. So that's the thing. They were jealous, so they came in there and said, let's do that. Let's burn them down. Let's kill everybody. The government is complicit in that. Then what happened in the Salem, no, what the heck? I'm getting the town, all of the massacres and everything like that. All of those things, they burned down our towns, and the U.S. government dropped bombs on us in some of the towns. Took away $350 billion worth of farmland. Made sure they paid a black bootlicking Negro that wanted a butter biscuit. They probably only gave him like $1,000 and some guns and said, why don't you go kill your Haitian president? That's what's so shameful about it. This dude over there killed his own president that was like, yo, Britain, give us our fucking reparations now. We're going to make sure our people are going to do better now. They killed him. Another black person. None of these things can really happen if we stop it with ourselves. But they victimize you because you're broke. Steve Patrick said, true, but they have black government over them, so they face less oppression. They hate us because we are the original Israelites, the children of the living God. Melina says, so true, it doesn't matter where you're from. To them, we're still just the same N-word. And I see this stuff all the time. I face this all the time. I'm here in Texas, and these cops be looking at like, man, when can I kill this Negro? Every single week. I can tell it. And I remember when I first arrived, this is what black people don't do. White people go into a black neighborhood, everybody be like, hey, what's up? I don't even do that no more. I keep the same energy most of them give me. When a stranger is there, I'm suspicious as hell of them. I don't care if it's a mostly white neighborhood I'm in or whatever. I just happen to be in here. This Airbnb, of course. I like to be mobile. I used to stay in hotels and stuff all the time. So I'm in an Airbnb and whatnot. And I first arrived here. I got it because it's a black person that was over this Airbnb. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to a black person. Not as familiar with this. I'm not from Houston like that or whatever. I didn't really care to do too much of that. I just was like, let me be closer to downtown so I can go to University of Houston and then also go to TSU because they're right across the street from each other. When I first arrived here, the Indians, and I mean Indian from India, the Indians, the few Mexicans, the white people, they all looked at me like I was an alien. The Muslim dude that's a security guard that's over here kept watching me at everything. I'm over here doing workouts. I'm doing my stride throughs. I'm doing 150s on the street. Because at that time, I didn't realize how close the university was. I don't really travel with a car like that. If I do, I'll rent a car. It's unnecessary for me to pay for it. And I remember the first week I came here, white lady rolled down the window, said, hey, Rice University is right up there. You might want to do that. It's more even ground. And I'm like, I can't tell if it's done out of friendliness or not. I had somebody follow me for about 800 meters when I was running. The same circle that everybody else is. A bunch of runners on my block, which was great. Distance runners, and some of them do half marathons and all types of stuff. Well, this dude, until I turned around. Now, this guy got to make me carry around a Kit Kat. Well, not a Kit Kat because that's too big. Got to carry around something and I had to turn around and say, yo, what are you doing? After that, scared them off. It took them about 3 weeks to warm up to me. Now they all saying hi, whatever, and I'm just stone colding them. I'm stone facing them. So with the exception of some that was from the beginning, they were just okay, or I didn't meet them the first week. But in the store when I was there, it was like, where are you from? But now that they know I'm a regular, now they're okay. The people at the register all over the place like I'm some kind of alien. So I keep the same energy with them. And people from majority black nations don't necessarily feel that. You see other black people. So I understand why when you go to a place where it's not as many black people, and I deal with this with my friends from Nigeria, or some of them former friends, on a regular basis. The businesses that I interact with, where I may talk to them outside of business, they'll be like, yeah, black women ain't that good. And they talking about Nigerians. They say, oh yeah, the black women in America, they're better. Or the same way that some black Americans would be like, yeah, go to the foreign land is better. I'm like, everybody, all these countries I've been to, everybody think the other one is better when they're not having a good time. And I'm like, dude, get your weight up and then maybe you'll have a better chance. Yes, sure, everybody got issues, men and women. Get your weight up. Like I was a broke bum and I was whining and complaining. Now I still got complaints, but they're different and more legitimate. But they're that same type of person that would be like, yeah, the black women ain't as good as, and then I said women, he said black women. I was talking about women, women are temperamental. He was like, yeah, black women, blah, blah. I was like, dude, how you change this to black women? I was just talking about women in general. And that guy come over here and he will sell us out. He'll be like, man, I got me a white lady. That's what happens. They come from Europe. One of my clients, well, I can't do that. That's a client. That's a contractual thing. But they'll come from Europe. They're dried up. The dried up white women will come from Europe. They'll come down to an African nation. And then the black dude will be all over her, cooning over her. Shameful. Bending over backwards for this lady. Trying to get some citizenship, most likely. This is why we're not respected worldwide. Particularly the black people not in the U.S. The USA black people are typically respected more than the non-USA black people because we are dealing with these issues on a regular basis. So we come with, you mess with us, we about to clap back at you most of the time. The other ones don't do that. They come with each other because black people have smoke for each other. And then they don't have smoke for other groups because you don't get punished for that in the media. You don't get punished for that in the media. You don't get punished for that in the systems. Your own governments, which are the sellout ones, they will punish you for having smoke against an Asian person. They're slowly starting to change because the youth are like, yeah, no, we got smoke for everybody, which I'm happy with. I'm happy to work with the youth, the people that are 30 and under, or really about 45 and under, but it's kind of hit and miss with people over 30 like myself. With other nations, it's kind of hit and miss. People under that, it's much easier to talk to them and talk some sense into them. But as I said, we're here to grow, and I'm gonna have videos like this on that other channel. So if you guys see it, let me bring it up on the screen here so you guys to know which one to subscribe to, because I'm about to rename this. And don't let no other group, and by the way, here's a final thing I want to say before I get off. Don't let any other group of people come and talk greasy about black people. Black people can talk greasy about each other because we're cousins. We're family members, and when family members fight, when we go outside, we don't keep that fight and that smoke for each other. Because when Whoopi Goldberg tried to say the thing about the Jewish issue, what did they do? They said, oh, hell no. I know technically what you just said was correct based on our logic, because we always say, no, it's not a color issue. It's not a white and black thing. It's actually just a class issue. When she tried to use that same logic, which was technically incorrect, it was a color-based issue on that one. But she tried to use their same logic. They canceled her and suspended her for a couple of days. That's power. We need to have that same power. We need to have that same power. All right. Here we go. Now, here are the two channels right here. This one right here. Oh, no. Track and Field Quick Hits. One of these two. Subscribe to both of them. But one of these two right here, I'd like you guys to, or both of these, subscribe to them, because one of these two right here, I'm going to rename as Black and Bold, and I'm going to have these things here. And I'm not just going to be talking about these issues, because I don't want to kumbaya and complain. I'm a guy of action. Once I get through talking, my question always is, now what? So I just said everything I just said, and then Steve Patrick said, same in the Caribbean. They kissed the tourist ass out here. Yeah. So here's the solution right here. Here's one of them before we go out. Okay. If you get money, then you're able to punish people that are off code. They want to kiss the tourist ass. Okay, the other people always gonna have more money. Guess what? You got the resources. How do you get the resources back? Well, one way to get it back is to use some of the money. Now, here, black people are so broke that if we all disappeared off the face of the earth today, nobody would notice other than the culture and the inventions. But as far as money wise, no one would know. We are 24% of the worldwide population, according to people that officially register as African style black. That includes the foundational black Americans, the black skin that I got. That is not including the Indians in India that are really black, but they will classify themselves as Asian. All right. When you add up all of them, really it's like 67% when you add up all the others. Or the Ethiopians that say we're not black, some of them, they say we're not black, we got too close to the sun and we got burnt. That's only some of the Ethiopians. I want to say that before somebody clip that out. They probably gonna do it anyway. Doesn't matter. Not the people that come from the Congo or different nations. I'm not gonna say it, but it is one of the athletes. I found this out. One of the athletes had a prison rep, and it's not who y'all think it is. It's a male athlete that had a prison rep in the United States from Jamaica. And when they put his profile up, he classified himself as white. He's darker than my ass, and he classified himself as white. That's not including all of those people. That's 24% of the population, but it's not including all the people that are black, like the Puerto Ricans that say, I'm Puerto Rican and black. Well, I mean, that's a location, ma'am or sir. That's not a race. Your race is one thing. If you're Jamaican, that's not a race either. That's just your ethnicity. But you're black. Just like a foundational black American, that could be an ethnicity, or you could say descendant of slaves as an ethnicity, because it's a unique group that got mixed with a bunch of others. So saying that is just one or is everybody, that would be incorrect. It's a different group. That's why you can see it in the times. You see the ethnicities have different genetics. Jamaican athletes apparently right now are faster than other athletes, and you see it, even their children. I mean, those are just facts. Just like you see black American athletes are faster than other ones. So when you see those adding up together, now you can clearly see that it isn't just somebody saying, oh, this is me. It's a genetic thing too. So get money. How do you get money? You get your skills up. What are skills? Okay, plumbing, building a home, driving a truck, being an electrician, having IT. Those are skills. Many of these you can do for free. Rosemary said being Jamaican is your nationality. Fair. So if you're able to get all of this together, you're getting money. Truck drivers are getting paid a hell of a lot of money. Now in Nigeria, the reason why I keep going back to Nigeria, I'll be in Nigeria after the championships are over. I'm actually leaving and going to Nigeria. I won't say exactly what time, because I'm sure some people that listen to this already know there's a lot of people that listen to these videos. Well, I don't want to be targeted like that, but I will be in Nigeria. I won't announce the dates, but I will be in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, the truck drivers get paid a pitiful amount depending on who you work for. But if you get all of your certifications, you will be like a king over there, relatively speaking. I had to just tell some guy I'm working with now, you gotta get your weight up. You don't got all of your certifications. You saying, oh, no, get your weight up. Within the next 12 months, you will be able to double and triple your income. And when you can do that, now you can start talking. And if a woman is complaining about to you, you just say, okay, on to the next one. It's on to the next one. Okay, cool. If somebody's complaining about you and say, hey, whatever, do this at the job, you got enough money saved up, you could say middle finger to that job. You got the ability to do other things. Once you start doing that, now you're one person. When you do well and you start blabbing off at the mouth to people, like that guy said, he said he was telling people about not leaving Nigeria. Coco, stop. He was telling people not to leave Nigeria. I said, they're not going to listen to you because they don't trust you, because they don't trust themselves. The same way that you just got scammed out of your last business deal, you're surrounded by people that are in that same boat. They're struggling to survive. So they're going to develop mindsets of the struggle mindset, which is I'm going to get over you before you get over me. So in order to bring them and improve them, get your weight up. And then when they start admiring you, because people love a success. When y'all see Shelly Ann Fraser Price, when y'all see Usain Bolt, when you see a Sydney McLaughlin, Dalilah Muhammad, when you see these athletes out here, and Arian Knighton, even as a young man, when somebody sees that, they admire the speed out there. Elaine Thompson-Herah, even Sha'Carri Richardson, without her having actual medal success, but a fast time. That's the one. Those are different levels of things to admire about people. People love Shelly Ann Fraser Price's success and her personality together. They might not have noticed her personality if she was never successful. Let that be clear. Talu gets noticed for her personality without having the highest success, but she's successful because she can keep making the finals and sometimes medal. They said 12 patriarchs of Israel scattered all over the world. So that's what you got to do. Build up your skills, which allows you to get money. Once you do that for a little bit of time, and I suggest that you save up about 2 years, a year and a half is minimum. A year and a half, first goal is 3 months, then it's 6 months, then a year and a half is the bare minimum of money you need to have in the bank savings of expenses. 2 years is where my baseline is, where I say 2 years. And now at my standard, I'm like, yeah, 6 years. If I ever go below 6 years of savings of money of what I need to spend, then I feel like I'm failing. But that's at the high standard I got. For you, 3 months, 6 months, a year and a half, minimum is a year and a half before you can start saying, okay, now let me start thinking about something else. At 3 months and 6 months, that's just a little bit of breathing room. A year and a half, that's now breathing room where you can let off the gas just a tiny bit and say, okay, now let me network with the other black people doing something similar to what I'm doing, which is where I'm at now. Let me network with the other black people. They said, HNS, what do you call a black person who was born in China? Chinese? Shaking my head. We need to understand who we are and where we're from. It's not just geography. Yeah, that's what they're trying to say. Elon Musk is an African American, which is African American is one of the worst terms there. That was not invented by, well, none of these terms, by the way. Africa was not named by black people. Almost nothing. All of these things were named by somebody else. Nigeria was named by some white lady journalist. She named it Nigeria, probably thinking of nigger, and was like, niggeria? Or something like that. I don't know. She said Nigeria. I know it said Niger River, but we really know what was really going on in their heads. Now, that's just my head canon there. This is what we got to do. All right, black people? This is what we got to do. Get the skills, which gets you money. As you're doing that and saving up, once you got your weight up, it's going to take about 2 to 3 years to do this. Then you start organizing with other people. How do you organize? We need to have, they said that is the Jamaica lineup for Jamaica female 100 meters. Yeah. So we need to organize in a way in which we have an army. We have to organize in which we have an army. Because if you don't do that, then you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable. It's easy to pick off one person. I want to personally be a billionaire. But if I'm the only one that's up here on the pathway of the people I know, and the other black billionaires might be sellouts or they're too nervous because they're the only one, I'll be easy to be picked off. Sure, I become a billionaire, then I start, let's say, developing a technology fund or something like that to start doing a black intelligence agency, so that we start tracking all of this stuff the way that we're being tracked by the FBI, CIA, and stuff right now. They love Facebook because it's easy to track black people. Black people are the most studied people on this planet. Marquis said a goat born in a pig pen is still a goat. Exactly. So if we're able to do that, then we can start, what is that called? I forget the term now, but you're essentially always on standby. Like the military, it's a military term, but because I got veterans in my family, but it's a military term where you're always kind of like organizing or something, but you're always training. You got PT. Then we can start putting together those groups to make sure we can defend ourselves, to have a security organization and whatnot. That's what we have to do. We can't do that if we're too busy not getting our weight up. White supremacy, white people control every single form of activity in our lives, from sex and sports all the way to science and mathematics. There is no way there wouldn't have been a Warren Buffett that was black already. They have held back our planet's progress for far too long. We should be having flying cars by now. With all the inventions that black people been invented all over the place, we should have flying cars now. Our lives should be like 300, 400, 500, 1,000 years at this point. I'm convinced. If not, we should at least be at 150, 200. They still looking at the Google which I hate this. I really do hate this. Black people give away our secrets too easily. They're in Ghana right now in the medical library, and Google is uploading all of the health and science secrets online on their medical library. At some point, and I'll end off on this. I've talked too long. The only reason we are kept alive is because we are the underclass, the designated punching bag for all other groups. Because if we are eliminated, there is, who's the next group down? The Mexicans? Well, not the Mexicans, Hispanics, which are just either black or white. That's an ethnicity, and most of those black Hispanics do not classify themselves as that. They'll say I'm mestizo or whatever, which are brown skin, which are still black, but they don't recognize themselves as that. So I don't either. I'll just be like, you're white. I'll respect that. So Hillary Clinton in the WikiLeaks said, when she was corresponding, this was during the Obama administration when they were going after Gaddafi and they were doing a propaganda on him. She was speaking to the French president or Europeans or something like that. I believe it was the French president at the time. And they were saying, yeah, the French president corresponded to them and said, or the memo he put out, that's what it was. It was from her emails, but obviously she's one of the people that's receiving it. So it said the Africa is going to gain its independence from European influence. Now, what they really meant was control, but influence eventually. And we need to stop that. That's what they said, eventually. So the parts that they left out, which they can read between the lines, they don't need to say everything to each other because they're the ones talking to each other. Here's the context after reading what I read. Now, I remember I downloaded that on my other computer. The dude was saying, yo, here's the summary. They said, we know black people are going to eventually break their grip from us. We're just trying to delay it as long as possible. When I was reading those multiple pages and everything like that, he said, we're trying to delay it as long as possible. AKA, we need to stop Gaddafi. They were like, man, we might not actually, they were actually not confident that they would catch Gaddafi. They said this dude can hide for decades with the amount of gold that he has. He has billions of dollars of gold stores that he has. I don't think we're going to do this. And the French president said, we're invading Libya so that we can show the other European nations that we're not a joke, that we have military power too. This is all a war game to them. This is all a game of chess against each other. Instead of them fighting each other, they got the aggression on us. That's why we don't get necessarily killed off completely. We just get grazed like cattle or some horses. And they don't attack real people. They attack old people, churches, and an individual black person if it's a male by himself. They don't go to the young people's neighborhoods, because if they do, they don't attack the gangs. This is in any country. You know why? Because it's called soft target. And the only reason they keep us alive this far, so long, as soon as they get off this planet with this Elon Musk stuff with the rockets, they don't need to keep you alive anymore. They don't need to make sure climate change, nuclear energy, or nothing. They'll just start playing with each other. Once they extract all of the resources from Africa and the ones that are in the Caribbean, they're going to say, oh, well, we don't need them anymore. No need to play nice. They're barely playing nice now. They're getting more and more aggressive now. So I just wanted to leave y'all on that, because they're only doing this now because we still are sitting on that. If they all just came in and tried to wipe us out, at this point, their own people would start, relegating against them. If they did it too aggressively right now, they will have so many riots and everything. It would be, they would crumble from within. Most countries crumble from within. This is why I tell my Nigerian cousins over there. I tell them, not like literal cousins, but the one I'm talking about. Before somebody be like, oh, he's Nigerian. No. I tell them, if y'all just imagine if, dang, I can't really say it directly. I can't say it directly. I gotta protect myself still. But imagine if the Nigerians got fed up and they showed up at the politician's house instead of in the street where they get massacred at, like what's starting to happen in the U.S. And you notice when black people did that after George Floyd, they was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. And then they're trying to test us at each and every, they keep doing one. They're doing it less and less often. But they're now testing us with another killing here and another one there. And then they're just like, okay, when are they going to crack? Because when you show up at the politician's house, they know what the next step is going to be. They know that they might bomb rush them in. There's no amount. Okay, it's 100,000 people out. Are you about to kill all 100,000 of them? You got to drop a bomb. The bomb is going to hurt you too. Okay, you got bullets. You kill about 10,000. You got 90,000 left. There is no way you're going to stop them. There is no way you're going to stop them. This is what these nations don't do, including in Haiti and Jamaica. Even in the U.S., it's starting to get close to that. South Africa, that sad shape that we have left that place in. They outnumber the people down there and they are mentally enslaved. That's what they're trying to do to the whole world. They've gotten almost the entire planet except for, to be honest, a sizable portion of black people in the U.S. and some in the U.K. On a consistent basis, if I had to go net for net, over looking out through history in the last about 166 years of history, black Americans are the most consistent about fighting back, on and off in Haiti, and the United Kingdom, I think, but they only got like 1% of the population or 2% or something over there. They kind of are on and off. They will be the third. I would say they're second, and then Haiti is number 3. But as far as everybody else, everybody is like completely the majority. So y'all listening here, y'all know what y'all got to do. You just tell other people about it. And y'all got to do y'all thing. Because when they take all our resources and all these people fleeing from Nigeria, fleeing from Kenya, I looked at the trend. In about 15 to 25 years, Nigeria will be a minority black country. It'll be minority black if enough of those Nigerians leave and flee. And what's happening? Well, the Chinese are moving in. The people from India are moving in. It's a sizable Indian population in Kenya. Actually, it's a very large one. And then the Europeans are moving in. And then, of course, some white Americans. That's what's happening right now. I'm an investor. I have to look at trends. I'm looking at the trends and I'm telling them, and each time I'm telling a person and I'm taking all this time, I'm like, tell another person. They're like, what, really? I'm like, yeah. How come they're going to come here? You're going to go European lands. Man, I kept saying this was going to be the last thing. I'm sorry, y'all. Thank y'all for being out here. This is 2.5 hours. I'm going to have to rehab real quick and everything. Let me see if I got this. Here. Okay, did y'all know that the most arable land is in African nations? I don't know where it is, but this is a project here. I saw somebody from the University of California, Berkeley, type this up. It was like an Indian woman, and basically all the countries that are trying to conserve the soil and how they're trying to put money and stuff there were basically everybody but black African nations. They were like, yeah, we got to save the planet. We got to make sure we do this. And they were leaving out all the black and Caribbean nations, except for the ones that are direct colonization still, like Virgin Islands and everything like that, that still got it in its name. Other than that, and the northern African nations, they had nothing to do with the rest of the continent. I'm going to read y'all comments in the section in a second too. This Save the Soil initiative or whatever is about, it says 60% of the planet's electorate. Okay. Now who's the other 1 billion that they leaving out? 60%? Why are they inspiring about 4 billion people? 4 billion. 4 billion people. Who are the 4 billion that they're directing this to? Can't be who I think they're obviously got to be out. Now, they want your money, though, to donate to them. They want your face because they're using black people as the face of this. But they're leaving all the black nations out. Now, there's a topsoil crisis. And for the people that don't know with farming, I'm very involved with this. You need topsoil. That's where the nutrients is. And it has to replenish itself. They say in the next 50 to 60 years, it will be out of order. And no more crops can be grown in the U.S., which is the biggest distributor of food, ironically, and Sweden and Ukraine. Those are the big nations. And Sweden, because they ain't got nothing else they don't have anything else, so they got real good at producing and exporting. I got to admire that, at least about that. But they have no topsoil in the next 50 years. These people think 50, 100, 500 years in advance. At the very least 20. So Africa has all the arable land on the planet, most of it. Yet they're making sure the African leaders are supplicating to them, and the people are too afraid because they had that church killing in Nigeria. And I kept telling them, you notice they're killing the churches. They only did that one thing with the SARS because y'all were in the middle of the street and they killed y'all the one time. You got to keep giving them the energy. If you don't do it on a regular basis, and I understand, you're afraid to die. All of us are. My mindset is I can't be afraid to die when I know I could die at any moment. I've been surrounded by police and some other stuff with them. So I'm like, okay, I could die at any moment. We're going to die anyway. So you can't really scare me by saying you're going to die. So that's what I want y'all to know. Africans are leaving, Caribbeans are leaving, and the Chinese own up a good portion of Jamaica. They're starting to own up Kenya and Nigeria and South Africa and stuff like that. And they're moving into your lands, and you're going to be left with the old, used up, no resources in Europe. No resources in the US. Where's the gold? Where's the copper? Where's the platinum? Where's all of that at? In Africa. And all of the black people are leaving those places and going to these other places and not noticing when they're leaving who's buying up the cheap land. And I'll leave you all off on that one. Now, and I'll read your comments and I'm out. Marquise, oh yeah, Steve Patrick said it's going to take some doing for us to come together as a people. Yeah. And you know what? The majority don't even have to be together. It's just got to be an elite mass of people. See, the majority are always going to follow the minority. If you're the early person in this and you're the minority there, all it takes is a good 3%, and a trend is set, 3% of you. And then it takes about 10%, and it's impossible. Well, actually, it's 11.4%. I got to be technically correct here because of my investing background. But it's 11.4%, and it's impossible to reverse it. Once you get to that high of an inception rate, then it's impossible to reverse it. So you get that much of the population, and boom, you're able to get people on code to follow a work ethics, but you can't be broken doing it. Or else you're babbling and nobody's going to listen to you. They're going to be like, yo, Negro, you as broke as I am. That's what they're going to say. You as broke as I am. So, and then Marquis said, I'm glad you mentioned that they have held back human progress because it is true. Colonization is the biggest destruction of human progress and the biggest in the progress of planet Earth. The Mayan, Inca, and Aztec civilizations, for example, were very advanced before Columbus and Europeans came across the Atlantic. You are fully awake. I'm not sure if this audience can handle this type of knowledge. Remember, Marcus Garvey thought black Americans to fight up to 1968. They were comfortable at the back of the bus. Oh no, let me make a correction here. Marcus Garvey did not teach black Americans to fight. Marcus Garvey is credited for popularizing Pan-Africanism. And he noticed that in Jamaica, there was no home for it. And when he went back there, they did not accept it because the majority here. But in the U.S., it was accepted. In the U.S., he noticed that the blacks were fighting. What he found was, this is why the black Americans fought. At the end of World War II, in World War II, black people were about 1/3 of the army. I don't know if you know that. Black people were 1/3 of the army in World War II, which was the highest percentage in the wild that they had since the American Civil War. World War One, it wasn't really any black people, even though black people fought in every single one. 1/3 of the army. What winded up happening was black people went to Europe, black people went to Japan, black people wound up being in Russia, and I started reading about it. They noticed, they were like, wait a minute, we're getting treated way better over here. Because they at least had a facade of treating people better. It was like, well, you know, that's heinous and whatnot. So they're not as, I guess, upfront and vicious with it as the, as if you were a civilian, because you're a person in military uniform. That's what it is. People tend to forget, even army veterans or people in the army right now. I was like, dude, if you go to Japan or China and you don't got that American uniform on and you take that off and you walk around like you're a civilian, then you're gonna really see what they think about you. But you got the army, that on, and when these black Americans experienced respect, they came back and you saw it instantly. That's when the Black Panthers came and stormed up in the DC, and that was the first gun control law. They didn't have no gun control laws after that until they was like, oh, the niggas got guns. They start reading books. Oh no, black people weren't comfortable at the back of the bus. And let me do another correction here. I don't fucking care about sitting in the back of the bus, because guess what? I'm not trying to sit at the table with white people. I want my own. That's the thing. I don't care. See, that's the problem that they had. I'm fighting to sit at the back of your bus. I got my own bus. Black people had bus lines. Integration ruined that because they were looking for interracial sexual access. This was the problem. They had black taxi companies, black banks, way more than they do now. Barely any banks now. Black people were economically stronger as a group when they had that. They had better bus lines that were more efficient, that went to more areas versus the regular bus line. But they kept using and caping with Martin Luther King, which then he said, oh shoot, what I did was a mistake, and then they killed him. That's why he was propped up and why they scapegoat on him all the time. No, I had to do a correction there, because you got to look at the lens of history properly. It was not sitting at the back of the bus. No matter if I sit in the front or the back, I'm getting to my stop at the same time. I don't personally care. Do the money go to me in the black community, or does it flow out? And at this point, it flows out. There's a black phone company, and I know I said I'll leave it on that. This is my extended conversation on this one. This is actually my last point, because that's what I'm wrapping up. Did you know that there's a phone company, a black-owned phone company, called Figures? Now, I thought it was a joke, but actually, it's a black phone company. Because I thought it was a play on niggers. But no, this is Freddie Figures. That's his name. It's a black phone company. Now, I didn't know that. I was like, you know what? I should order here and everything like that. But it's a phone company here. This is a black phone company. And what I noticed, black people typically can do things better. Black people typically do things better because we're forced into making them better with little. Just imagine if we get 10% less racism on us, what we would do. And here's the thing right here where I said, here is $16 trillion that the United States lost. This is not even including intelligent and intellectual capital, like the brains that were blown out, the people that are demotivated, put into a psychological torment at all and every moment that's there. This is just talking about dollar value, not in talking about the progress that we could have made in other areas. So I just want to point that out when you say the other things. $16 trillion lost over 20 years. Okay, 20 years for anti-black racism. Now they'll say the word, quote, racism. Everything's built on that. So if y'all want to read the Citigroup study right here, or the Citibank study, I'm dropping it here. Yeah, figures communication. There's that, and then I'm gonna drop the black phone company here. If it applies to you, if you think you should buy it and whatnot. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I'm just letting you guys know. But yes, $16 trillion over 20 years. $16 trillion. That's the tanks that they hold on us and everything. Uh-oh. They're buffering my stream, so I'm going to end it right here. I will catch you all on the next one. Thank you guys for coming out tomorrow. I will be, this has been 2 hours and 44 minutes. And the last 40 minutes has been some black empowerment here. Hopefully, I reach some good people. Hopefully, people will reach out via email with some businesses and all of that stuff, because we need to get some stuff done. And none of this stuff is going to happen overnight. It's going to be same thing. 20, 50, 100 year, 200.